We don't talk about money or sex in America.
So I came up with it's really funny, like as I was going through kind of my 2.0 version, building myself after my divorce, after bankruptcy, the entire deal. One day I came up with a name, it just came into my brain, Lions Not Sheep. And it was one of those things that just like was banging around in my head. And I thought, well, this would be a cool t-shirt. So I literally went online, I designed it, and I called my buddy who owned a t-shirt company. I said, hey dude, we make this into a t-shirt. And it was just like for me, right? Like this is like who I am. Like I vibed with it. It was energetically connected to me. And so we made a t-shirt, and a couple days later, after I had it, I wore it and had a picture on social media, and somebody's like, dude, that's a rad shirt, where do I buy that? So I called my buddy back, I'm like, somebody wants to buy a shirt, like, can you make more of these? And so that's kind of where the brand itself, the t-shirt line, the clothing line, the apparel, the entire thing started. But it started with me it really resonated with me. You know what I mean? I lived most of my life as a sheep following, doing as I was told, and found this new energy like, no dude, I'm gonna chart my own territory. I'm gonna do my own deals. Like I'm gonna do it my way, which was really polar opposite of everything I'd been taught, everything that I had learned. And so it was me, and it's now become this kind of global brand that people resonate with.
Yeah, it's funny you said, because like you just said a statement that was unique to me, is that you said before all that took place, you were kind of almost representing a sheep to a certain degree in your life. What was that about?
Well, I mean, ever since we were little kids, we've been programmed to lie. And it doesn't matter who you are. If you think all the way back to when you were a kid, sit down, quiet down. Raise your hand if you have to go to the bathroom, right? You go to church, this is what's right, this is what's wrong, this is what's good, this is what's bad. Since we're little kids, we're programmed, right? Like, don't say anything that's gonna offend anybody. So really, you don't say anything, because if you have an opinion, it might offend somebody. You think about that entire indoctrination since we were children, elementary school, middle school, high school. Then you get into high school, and now there's a whole other layer of complexity, which is like, okay, now you're gonna go to another school, and this is what success looks like. You're gonna go get a job, you're gonna climb this corporate ladder, you're gonna make money, then when you're 65, then you can retire, and then you can have fun, move to Boca Raton, and live life.
Till you die.
And that's really this American dream that's been pitched to millions and millions and millions of kids, me and you included. And I found myself at 30 years old having made millions of dollars, like going, like, is this it? I've got the houses, the cars, the Rolexes, and the whole thing. I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this? I don't know why I'm doing this. And so for me, I realized like I had built all of these things and created this empire, if you will, because it looked good. Because this is what success was. That was inside of this box, right? But it wasn't who I was. It wasn't really what I wanted to do. And so for me, I realized after burning it all to the ground, it was like, I'm gonna do it my way. I'm gonna do it this way, and I don't need to work 20 hours a day and run myself ragged and burn everything to the ground to be happy. And so it became kind of this reverse engineering where I realized that I had been programmed to build business, and then that business will allow me to live life. And I wasn't living the life that I wanted to live because I was married to this idea of what success was.
Which wasn't your idea in the first place.
Which wasn't my idea anyways, right? It's from, and this is pre-social media, this indoctrination of hustle, grind, hustle, grind, hustle, grind. So I reverse engineered it, and I started asking myself the question, like, what do you want? Like, what do I really want to do with my life?
What does Sean Whalen
like, what the
want?
fuck do I really want? And so once I started getting clear on those things, I was like, all right, what kind of business do I have to have? How do I support that then? Financially, I mean, you have to have money to dream big and do the whole thing, but I reverse engineered it, and once I started doing the shit that I wanted to do, building the business behind it, became super easy.
I can't wait to dive into this Lions Not Sheep, but back up a little bit. Go back childhood a little bit. How'd you grow up? What was that like?
I grew up hustling ever since I was a little kid, and you hear all the stories, the Gary Vee stories and this, that, and the other. Like, I was the kid that'd go around the neighborhood, I'd knock on my neighbor's door and say, hey, can we mow your lawn for $5? And they'd say, yeah. And I'd keep $3, and I'd give my buddy $2 to go mow it, because he didn't have to go get any of the contracts, right? But we all had money when the ice cream man rolled around. You know what I mean? And so ever since I was a little kid, I thought as an... Is that my phone? That's my phone talking. No, we need to keep that running. We're not cutting that out.
No, this is live.
Anyways, so ever since I was a little kid, I was an entrepreneur, and I found that. And I tried the real world, real job, 9-to-5 deal for a couple of years, and my brain was always elsewhere. I was always thinking about doing a deal, building a business. Even when I went to college, I went to one semester of college, and it was like, I didn't want to be there. I wanted to be building shit. I had all of these ideas and knew the framework of how to be successful. And so, growing up in a single parent home, I watched my mom work 2 jobs and there was no silver spoon near my mouth. And so when I failed, when I lost money, it was like, there's nobody to call. I didn't have a backup plan. So I had to figure out ways to make that shit that I didn't know how to make work.
Right.
And so it was a lot of trial and error, a lot of, fails along the way in order to build shit that actually really worked.
You talk about as a kid, as you were hustling, right? Like young age, lawnmowers and everything else. Do you think a lot of times entrepreneurs are kind of born with that freaking hustle, grind spirit, entrepreneurial spirit, or is it something you cultivated, or how does that work?
I definitely think there are certain aspects that you're born with for sure. You know what I mean? And maybe it's not even the entrepreneurial thing. It might not even be money. It might just be, most of the entrepreneurs that I know are crazy. I mean, they're nutty, right? I mean, you have to be half crazy to risk what you risk to build a business, to be a quote unquote entrepreneur. So maybe it was that I was crazy and didn't know any other way. Maybe I didn't fit inside of the box of a normal 9-to-5 job. I don't know what it is, but I know that as I grew, I enjoyed the challenge of it.
Yeah.
And I know that as I started surrounding myself with better people, studying, learning, reading, I realized that, this is a gift that I've got. And I wanted to cultivate that gift and grow that gift. And so I just got better and better and better at what I'm good at. And what, caused me in my early days, my early entrepreneurial career to fail, if you will, is trying to be everything that I wasn't, right? The micromanager. And that's one of the biggest lessons that I've learned is like, I've got a gift. And I know what that gift is. And as long as I stay true to that gift and bring people in that can do things that I'm not good at, that's really where I think true entrepreneurs shine.
Yeah, where you find out what you're great at and you stayed right in that lane right there. Where you see a lot of people talk about even books written and so forth, where they're talking about you got to keep building your weaknesses as well. You have strengths and weaknesses. What's your philosophy on that one?
It's total bullshit. I could learn how to be a computer coder. I could learn how to code. I'm a smart dude, right? Most people could learn how to code. I have zero fucking desire to code. So why would I go learn to do that if I could just pay somebody to do that, right? I know what I'm good at, right? I can continue to focus on what I'm good at and bring other people in, but the idea that you have to be the master of all of these things, I think is total bullshit. I disagree with it 100%.
So you don't buy into the philosophy of these authors and so forth talking about making your weaknesses better.
No,
you call BS.
I mean, not. Look, you always want to be progressing, right?
Sure.
You want to be getting better, but I think there's this preconceived notion that I need to be good at everything. I need to know all of the nuances of my company. I have no fucking idea how my website works. I know what I want, and I have smart people that have made those wants and desires happen. I don't know how to reprogram and recode all that other shit, but I know what it does. You know what I mean? And I think in order for me to continue to grow, to be able to employ somebody to build me a website, I have to continue to do the things that I'm good at. So I think when people talk about making the weaknesses stronger, it's like refining who you are, right? As a baseball player, you're not going to just tear your really good swing down and redo it just because you do it. You get better at it. You find somebody that can help you further and progress your knowledge and your ability. Same thing in business.
For those that don't know, the viewers watching, whatever, that don't know Lions, Not Sheep, what is that about now? You have training, you have men coming from around the world to hear you. You got CEOs coming in. What are you doing there? How could they, if they don't know what it is, what is it for that person? So
Lions Not Sheep, it was me, right? For many months, it was like, this was kind of my new reality. I vibed with it. I energetically felt like, look, I can go do my own deal. I don't need to follow what it is that I've followed for the last 20 years in building businesses. Case in point, I hate offices. I can't stand offices. I used to have the corner office with the fancy shit and the big elevator and the whole thing. Now I have a giant warehouse that's got cool murals all over the place. And I have a couch in the office. That's my office. If you want to come meet with me, this is where we meet, because I fucking can't stand offices. So doing it my way, this is like my new reality. So there's a lot of people, most entrepreneurs, most CEOs, most people growing a business, period, have this notion that I've got to sacrifice everything in order to make this work. And to a point, I understand like growing and sacrificing and putting in 10, 12, 14, 15 hours a day, but at what cost? At what financial cost? At what health cost? At what relationship cost? And when you get really, really clear at what you want, most times it's not more money. So the people that I work with, entrepreneurs, business owners, even people trying to start businesses, you go on Instagram, social media, and it's like, if you're not working 20-hour days like Gary Vee, you're never going to be successful. And that's bullshit. That's total bullshit. So my entire philosophy with Lions Not Sheep is really understanding what you want. I mean, you and I are headed in the same direction. We're both going to die.
Right.
And I mean, newsflash to every single person watching this, you're going to fucking die.
Right.
I know you like to think that somehow it's not going to happen to me, and it might be tomorrow, it might be next week, it might be next year. So my whole philosophy is, if I knew that today was my last day, like, what would I be doing? And most people would not be doing what it is that they're doing right now. And that's real.
Yeah.
It's not like some morbid, I don't wake up every day going, shit, I'm going to die. I'm just going to go blow all my money and bang all the hookers and do all a bunch of dumb shit. Mm-hmm. But it's really understanding, like, there is a shelf life to this existence. And if you're building your business and grinding this thing out to somehow reach this euphoric reality of success, it never comes.
Yeah.
Because every time you level up, there's a new set of problems, there's a new challenge, there's a new deal, and that never comes. And so what I find is that most entrepreneurs, when I ask them this question, they have no idea. And it's one of the hardest questions for any human being to answer, which is, what do you want? Mm-hmm. When you really stop and think about, what do you want? Most people say, I want to be happy. Right. Well, I could tell a joke and make you laugh and you're happy, right? Well, I want to be free. I'm free to hit you with this chair right now if I want to. There's repercussions for it.
Sure.
But like, we have all of these things that superficially we think we want. But when you stop and really like peel it back, like, I don't want to work. Uh-huh. When you stop, I would rather be at the beach. I would rather be playing with my kids. Real talk, like, I would rather be doing those things than sitting in a cubicle, sitting in an office, punching keyboards all day long. Mm. So my real question for people is, could that be reality? Could you build that? Could you build a business where you work an hour a day and still make millions of dollars? Absolutely. Why? Because I'm doing it. Right. So like, the entire philosophy around Lions Not Sheep is getting people clear on like what they really want, because the money's the easy part. We talked about this before. The money's the easy part. You know what I mean? But the real difficult part is people understanding, like, there's a shelf life to this existence. Am I going to live life, or am I going to eventually at some point in time maybe have enough money to live life and then bang, I'm dead?
Right. And
that's truth for rich, poor, gay, straight, black, white. I don't care who you are, where you are in life. You're going to fucking die. Mm-hmm. The question is are you going to live in the meantime?
Yeah. With Lions Not Sheep, is that for men and women, or just men?
Yeah, men and women. We
do
have
men and women conferences?
Yeah, 750 clients all over the world. Men, women, entrepreneurs, millionaires, multimillionaires, people, startups, all of the above. And the entire philosophy on what I teach is literally my own personal journey. Uh-huh. You know, I was checking the boxes and building business because this is what it was supposed to look like. Yeah. And I get to this place where I've got 3 vacation homes, I've got 4 cars, I've got Rolexes, I have all this shit, and I'm like, why am I not happy? And I'm seeing more and more and more, this is reality for most entrepreneurs that I know, is we're burning the candle at both ends. We're sacrificing our health, we're sacrificing our families, our connection with our kids. Just as a side note, like, I had this really cool experience this year, cool, but at the same time really disturbing, where I coached my son's football team. Okay. He's 8 years old. 8 years. And this email went out to all of the parents, and they needed coaches for like 5 different teams. They didn't have coaches. There's 22 kids on a team. So you have over 100 dads. Yeah. 100 dads that weren't coaching why. And I'm not here to judge them, but the reality is, like, I don't care how much money you make, you'll never be able to buy back 8th grade football. Yeah. I don't care how many millions you stack, I don't care how many employees you have, that time can't be bought back. And that's the entire philosophy around Lions Not Sheep, is understanding, like, I wouldn't be able to buy back 8th grade football. Mm. My kid's going into 9th grade. I can't buy back this year. No matter how much money I make, I'll never be able to do that again. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and so the entire philosophy around Lions Not Sheep is understanding, like, life is happening right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, this is where real world, real life, real love, real connection, real happiness, real everything is taking place. But somehow we're focused on this future euphoric reality of, when I get here, then I'll be happy. Yeah. When I have this much, then I'll be able to do this. When I, and we live our entire fucking life in that space. And I did for, 15 years in building a huge multi-million-dollar company. And I get to this place where I'm like, why the fuck am I even doing this? You know?
You talk about Lions Not Sheep, and obviously you work with a lot of men and helping men grow personally in business as well. Go back to that football though. Why do you think those men, let's say there's 100 fathers there, why are those men not getting more involved coaching and stuff like that?
It's an interesting question, and at the end of the day, it's how we've been programmed, man. Yeah. When you really stop and think about it, like, I mean, the cars, the this, that, we live in a day and age where status is extremely important, right? Uh-huh. They bought this car, we buy this car. They upgraded, they got a pool in their backyard, we get a pool in our backyard, kind of a deal. And we're spending all of this time thinking that we have time. I mean, have you ever had anybody that died unexpectedly? You're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I was just golfing with that guy 2 days ago. Bang, he's fucking dead.
Right.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's real. And when I went through kind of my downturn, if you will, my midlife crisis, whatever the hell you want to call it, I started thinking about that. I started thinking about death. Not in a morbid way, but realizing like, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Like, and when you really start to understand that and see yourself in that position, like, I could have $1 billion. I could hand you $1 billion right now and say, change yesterday. You can't.
Yeah, it's possible.
So imagine laying on your deathbed, and here's your kid, where you're like, man, I'd give anything to be able to go back and play or coach football.
Yeah.
You can't. You can hand him a fuck ton of money because you built this huge empire and the whole thing, but you'll never be able to go back and do that again. And as I started kind of rebuilding my life, if you will, after my midlife crisis, I started looking at a lot of these moguls, the Carnegies, the Rockefellers, the Steve Jobs of the world. And what's really fascinating is at the end of all of their books, they all say the same thing. All of them, without question. They share their triumphs and you know, building everything out, but they all say the same thing at the end of their book, which is, if I could go back and do it all over again, I would have done more time doing the things I wanted to do, and I would have spent more time with my family. Now, if you're a 35, 40, 45-year-old, 50-year-old man right now, and you consider yourself somewhat smart, that dude is literally giving you his parting words. He's on his deathbed saying, if I could go back and trade places with Sean, this is what I would do.
Yeah.
But yet our entire game is wrapped around hustle, grind, success, 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 build, 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 build. And all the dudes that have already done that are at the finish line, are saying, I might not have done it right.
Right.
Maybe I should have done it this way. And that's that paradox. That's a hard pill for most men to swallow. That's a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow because it means changing shit up. You know, I built a company that was so big that I had 171 employees. Like, how do I unwind that? I don't know how to unwind that. What if I don't want to work 20 hours a day and I don't want to be at all these fucking meetings and have to manage all this shit? What do I do? And so you find yourself almost trapped in a way where I've built this huge thing and now I can't change it. I can't just peel it back. I can't go, I have all the money to be able to go move to Africa for a month if I wanted to, but I can't.
Right.
And so literally this success model that we've built, that is what business really is, fucking traps us. And this is where I think a lot of entrepreneurs are starting to wake up, and like a lot of my clients are going, look, man, I don't need help with making money. I can make money. But how the fuck do I live life? I'm watching you race the Baja 500 with your kid. I'm watching you ride horses with your daughter. I'm watching you do whatever the hell you want, make millions of dollars and love your life. Like, how do I do that? And it's fascinating, like such a simple concept is so radically difficult for people.
Yeah. Obviously, you're one of the most authentic brands out there that freaking exists right now in the world. You mentioned right now. It's true, man. You're like so authentic. You mentioned a while ago, hustle and grind. And there's this message like constantly being pumped out constantly about hustle and grind. You just got to hustle for 20 years and so forth. And obviously Gary Vee talks about hustle and grind like his theme, right?
Right.
Why are they? It's almost sounds like you're almost going the opposite side of that of what Gary's saying right there. It's not about the hustle and grind versus what he's saying is you got to always hustle and grind.
I found that I love what I do.
Yeah.
And so to me, I'm always working. But yet I'm never really working because I'm loving what I'm doing. And that's not cheesy and cliche. Like, that's real. Like, what do you really fucking love? You know what I mean? There are people literally making millions of dollars with their passion. And I think things get misconstrued in the sense like, if I'm not doing what they're doing, I can't be successful.
If you're not grinding like they are.
I'm not grinding like they are, right? In order for me to be successful, one of my dear friends, Andy Frisella, has this huge car collection, and it's almost this thought process like, if I don't have as many cars as him, I'm not successful. Yet Andy and I are homies and we hang out all the time and talk all the time, and I don't have 1/100th of the car collection he has, yet he and I are really close friends, and I love his success, right? And he loves my success, and we're both charting our own territories, but I got really fucking clear on what I wanted, and he got really clear on what he wanted. And I think a lot of times you turn on social media, you're there and you're seeing all of these people, and you have this idea like, in order for me to be successful, this is what it looks like. And yet if you ask those people the question, what do you want? Yeah. Most people don't really know. Sure. And that's that shift for me. That's that game that I'm playing in life, which is, how do I get more fully into the space of what I want to do and then make more money at the same time? Because everybody else is doing it like this, but yet I'm living this life that I'm actually really fucking enjoying. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
sure.
what I have found is in interviewing and talking to literally hundreds of 7, 8, 9-figure CEOs, COOs, business owners is we think that we have to be married to this game in order for it to work, and we don't. But how do I build that? And that's not what's taught.
Yeah.
We don't know how to do that. It's literally reverse engineering everything you think is possible, right?
Right.
And then that's a difficult thing for people to do.
Yeah. In a world with social media, is there's so much almost fakeness and facades of so many brands and so forth out there. I mean, you talk about your bankruptcy, you put everything online and let it stay there, right? You put it on social, you'll talk about it. Why do you go so deep in your past and bankruptcies and divorces and all that stuff? Why do you go so deep into it?
Because it's me, it's real. It's stuff that happens every single day. You know, we social media has this caveat to it where we think it's got to be perfect and the lighting has to be perfect and you have to spell everything right and all of these other things. And for me, I found when I went through my bankruptcy, when I went through my divorce and the entire deal, like I was a liar. I mean, we're programmed to lie.
Yeah.
We're programmed to do as we're told. Going back to this question earlier, like you're a little kid, like do as you're told.
Right.
This is right, this is wrong. Do these things and you'll be happy. Well, I mean, more men are killing themselves than ever before in the history of this country. Why? It's not because there's a lack of money. It's not because there's a lack of available chicks at the bar. Like, why are men killing themselves at an all-time fucking high? When you really stop and think about that, it's because we're fucking trapped. We're lying. You ask your buddy, how you doing? I'm good, man. I'm good. Well, you know that he's not good because he's, banging 6 of his secretaries. His wife's popping Xanax like they're Skittles, and you're like, yeah, it's not probably very good, right?
Right.
But you can't talk about that shit because it's not socially acceptable. So when you stop and look at living this life of lying, you ask most people, are you a liar? What do they say? I'm not a liar.
Right.
Well, do you tell people the truth? Well, not really. Well, then what do you tell them?
You think that's socially...
You're telling people what you think they want to hear, which does what to you? It causes depression, it causes anxiety. You know that you're full of shit. And I think what's really fascinating right now for me is when I went through my divorce and my bankruptcy, I was terrified to talk about it. I'd made millions of dollars, I built this huge company, and it was embarrassing. It was humiliating, right? And one night I shared some real dark truth about my divorce. I was like, I was a dick. I was just a dick. I knew all the buttons to push and I pushed them. Right. And any divorced man out there knows that's exactly what we do. We get angry when we go through divorce, so we push all the fucking buttons, and she pushes all the buttons, and we become angry people, right? I got to this place where I shared this post on social media, which up until that point I used social media like everybody else did, right? Watching videos of fat kids falling off skateboards and blah, 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 and all this other bullshit that we use it for. And I told the truth. I said, dude, I was angry. I was bitter. I said a lot of dumb things. I did a lot of dumb things that caused a lot of pain and a lot of hurt, not only for my family, but for me. And it went viral. I woke up the next morning and it just every hour for the next 14 days almost, like 10,000 people liked it. And I was like, what the fuck? Like I'm telling people darkness. I'm telling these people like shit that is really scary for me to say. It's not the highlight reel. And it started clicking in my brain. I'm like, dude, there's like millions of people that resonate with this because it was true. Yeah. Anger's real. There's a lot of men that are really angry. There's a lot of, shit, turn on the news. Everybody's fucking angry nowadays. You can't turn on the news or jump on any type of social media and not see people kicking the shit out of each other, fighting with each other, so on and so forth. Anger's real. And I realized 2 things in that initial post that went viral. Number one, that I resonated with a lot of people. I thought I was an island. Nobody knows how bad it hurts to go through a divorce. Nobody knows how hard it is to go through a divorce or bankruptcy. And I realized there were millions and millions of people that resonated with it, right? And it was almost like I connected with people through the darkness, through these things that I was embarrassed of. Yeah, way before it. And the second thing that I saw is I felt better. And it was weird because it was almost like this burden was lifted off my shoulders as I shared some of my truth. And it was dark and it was scary, and I was like, well, shit, I like to think I'm a pretty smart fella. And so I started doing it more and sharing more of like my story and my fears and my pain, and as this quote unquote alpha, right? We don't share any of that stuff. And I started sharing more of my story and who I really was and things that I was really struggling with or fears that I had. And all of these posts of just raw truth, they just went crazy. And it connected with so many people. And that's really kind of the early days of Lions Not Sheep, is me getting outside of what I thought the norm was, which was being completely full of shit and sharing what was real to me. And literally over the last 5.5 years, I have almost 1 billion views of my videos online, and I mean, I've shot them all with an iPhone. I don't have a big studio and whatever, but it's just real shit. And I think that's what's really fascinating about, we were talking about before, building brands, building, things online nowadays, is you smell stuff from a mile away. And so when you find somebody that's sharing real shit, you're like, dude, I like that guy. I resonate with that guy. I feel that way. I relate to these types of things. And I think that's the reason, number one, my business is growing. But number two, I'm in such a good place, me personally, because imagine like having all of these things that we think we can't talk about as just like rocks in your backpack. I just got rid of them all.
Yeah, unloaded it.
And now there's like nothing to hide. There's no secrets. You know where I've been. You know what I've done. You know that I struggle with this. I talk about real stuff happening all the time, raising 3 kids, having 2 teenagers. There's tons of people that have 2 teenagers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But somehow we think we need to paint the perfect picture of our kids are perfect, this perfect. No, dude, it's fucking hard as shit. And I talk about that stuff all the time, and I think that's the reason that so many people are really struggling right now, is they want to be able to do that. They want to be able to talk about what's really going on inside, but we've painted this picture and this culture where it's not cool. It's not socially acceptable. We don't talk about sex, money, politics, religion, divorce, depression, bankruptcy, suicide, yet every human being on this planet is experiencing many of these things every single day. But we don't talk about any of it. Why?
Obviously, you take a lot of hard stances, and you have your viewpoint, your position. Obviously, you not only do you attract a ton of people to you that follow you and love Sean Whalen, you also attract haters that freaking hate you and call you names and attack you as well. It doesn't bother you, doesn't faze you.
There's no such thing as a hater. They don't exist.
There's no such thing as a hater.
If you're on my page and you're following me, you're a fan.
Interesting.
If you're there to talk shit to me, you're a fan.
Interesting.
There's no such thing as a hater. There's no such thing as a troll. When you stop and think about it, like, if you're following me,
Right.
I already won the game. I already own your brain. Even if you're here to just talk shit to me, I won.
Yeah.
I don't look at anybody like that. The only time I'll delete anything off social media, just as a side note, is if I know Facebook would ban me for it.
Right.
If they throw like a racial slur or some shit like that. When you stop and think about like why someone would come onto my page to talk shit to me,
Right.
they're a fan.
You're saying you already won.
They're a fan.
You're giving a good perspective here that I have never heard before, where it's not that you don't even not care about him, it's that you're like, I won, I got you, you're on my
What's
page.
the most
not someone else's
valuable real
page.
estate on the planet?
Yeah, in between your ears.
6 inches between somebody's ears.
Yeah.
If you're on my page, I won.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's a great perspective of it. If someone wants to learn more about it, I'm going to come back to it. I want to talk more about it. But if they want to learn more about it, where do they go? Sean Whalen or
SeanWhalen.com, lionsonsheep.com.
You want both those right there.
Sure.
Both of your websites right there.
Absolutely.
So SeanWhalen.com or lionsonsheep.com as well.
Yeah.
I want to take a second here and just kind of go through what I call the favorite question section.
I love it. Let's do
and
it.
to give us a little break here, and we'll get some of Sean Whalen's favorite moments. Some be business, some be personal.
Okay.
We'll go through them here. What is Sean Whalen's favorite social media platform right now?
Instagram.
Instagram's your favorite one?
Yeah.
Who or do you have a favorite influencer?
Andy Frisella.
Andy Frisella?
Yep.
That's your buddy you were just talking about with the cars, right?
Yep.
Great. Favorite communication platform, like with your company, how you communicate with employees or so forth? Or
Email.
Email is the one you go to right now? This is a unique one, just a hack for a lot of people here. Do you have a favorite productivity platform that Sean Whalen uses? Trello,
Dude, I'm the
like
most
that?
unorganized, dysfunctional son of a bitch on the planet.
And this
I
is
could
great.
have 10 assistants and I still fuck everything up. I'll miss
Yeah.
every meeting. It doesn't matter. So,
Yeah. So
I
you
have
just
zero
of it?
No.
Perfect, man.
I use the notes section on my phone. That's like as organized as I get.
Favorite place to travel for you?
Anywhere with my kids.
Anywhere with your kids. You got 3 kids,
As long as my kids are there, it's dope.
2 boys, 1 girl. Is the girl the oldest?
Girl's the oldest, 17, 14, 10.
10, okay. Your favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Christmas. This is a great follow-up for it then. Do you have a favorite Christmas movie?
Christmas Vacation.
With
Chevy
Chase in it?
Shitter's
Classic,
full,
dude. Shitter's
Classic.
full, right?
I need to make a T-shirt that just says "Shitter's full." I know somebody already did that, and it's already out there.
But you could do it for Lions That
Yeah,
Sheep, right?
exactly.
And all right,
We should do like a what's his name running for president? Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Picture. We're doing this live. You guys are gonna hear this live. His face, and then just says "Shitter's full." That's good shit. No pun
That's
intended.
good shit.
That's
On
good
the
shit.
Shitter's full.
That's gonna be a big seller.
Yeah.
We did it here live on your show.
Let's see here. This is a big one for you. Your favorite weapon you own?
I want to buy a tank. I'm in the process of looking for a tank. Probably a 1911. Either that or my Scar. I have a Scar 17S. For gun enthusiasts, you know what that is.
And you like the 1911?
I love the 1911.
45?
It's nothing like a good old-fashioned 1911 45.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Right on, man. And then I got a last one here for you. Your favorite Democrat politician?
Donald Trump.
All right, let's
He
actually.
used to be a Democrat.
Yeah, he came out.
See how I did that?
Yeah,
See
it's
how
a
I
good
did that?
spin, dude.
Yeah.
That was a great one. All right, man. Let me talk about this. Let's talk about your book. You wrote a
Okay.
book.
Yeah.
It's called How to Make Shit Happen.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. What do you got there?
It's actually an interesting story. I had wanted to write a book, and as I was looking at other influencers and guys, it was like it was kind of the flavor of the day. Everybody was writing a book. And I'd wanted to write a book for a number of years, and I started like 10. ADD had started writing it, and I'd put it away, and then, no, this one would be better, and this will be better. And one day I was talking to one of my dear friends on the phone, like one of my favorite mentors, and I said, dude, I've got this itch, like I want to write a book, but I don't know what to do. I don't know what to write it on.
Yeah.
And he said something that I'll never forget. He said, if you could only leave one message with the world, what would it be? And instantly I knew it. Like the light just went on my head. 6 weeks later, my book was literally shipping from Amazon. 6 weeks. So I wrote it, self-published it, got it out, approved through Amazon, and it was shipping within 6 weeks. So it was like this, once the light bulb went on, I just blasted everything down. And we actually, just a side note on the book, we wrote it so fast and put it together so quickly that we forgot to put page numbers in it. Real story, true story. So about 2 weeks after the book started shipping, like I never even saw a draft of it.
Okay.
There were people leaving reviews on Amazon before I ever received my final copy of it to approve it. Like that's how fast we put this thing together. And I wanted it that way. Like I wanted to write a book that I would read. I can't stand these 300 fucking page books with 2 nuggets in it and 298 pages of filler and bullshit like that don't matter, right?
Yeah.
But about 2 weeks after the book launched, somebody wrote a review and said, dude, this is like one of the best books I've ever read. But did anybody else notice there's no page numbers? I'm like, get the fuck out of here. What are you talking about? You got a bad copy, right? So I went over to the box that I then had, and I opened one up, and there's no page numbers, and I opened up another one. I'm like, what the fuck? So I go to another box, open up, there's no page numbers. I call my editor, I was like, open up a box of one of the books that you have.
Yeah.
And she's like, why? I said, there's no fucking page numbers. And she's like, get out of here, right? There's no page numbers. So we legitimately forgot to put page numbers in my book. So she's like, she felt horrible, right? Because we literally did this thing so fast.
Right.
And I pushed it to be done that quickly. She's like, look, I'll call Amazon, we'll stop sending them, whatever. We'll just re-edit it so that it's got them in there and whatever. And I was like, no, dude, just leave it. Just fuck it. That'll be my thing with my book. Like,
so you never...
My book has sold almost over 400,000 copies now.
Yeah.
Purely organically, no publisher, no anything, all organic through social media. And it doesn't have page numbers on it.
Still doesn't to this day have pages
Nope,
on it.
and I won't put them in there.
If they want to get it, where they get it from? It's still Amazon still has it right now?
I think there's a link to it on my website, seanwhalen.com, or you go to Amazon.
Either
Yeah,
one of those.
it's always funny because when I'm like, dude, if you read that in my book, people always joke me like, what page is that on? I'm like, it's halfway through chapter 2.
Yeah, but a quarter of the way you'll find
somewhere
it.
in here, the last paragraph. It's
Right
kinda
on.
funny.
You got thoughts of maybe writing another one someday?
Yeah. So I one of the things that's been bouncing around in my brain is this, and I do a lot of talks on it. Your mess is your message. And
Say it again.
Your mess is your message. And
Okay.
so I actually bought the domain a number of years ago, and I thought to myself, like, that would be a really cool kind of follow-up book, is not only from a marketing perspective and a sales perspective, but a business perspective of understanding that what's really selling in the marketplace is your mess.
Yeah.
You know, it's the darkness, it's the truth, it's authenticity, it's these key words that we hear floating around all the time, but yet see very, very infrequently. So that's the direction that I'm moving on book number 2.
So you got some stuff in the works behind it there?
Your mess is your message.
That'd be a cool one, man.
I don't know, they keep telling me though to put page numbers in this one. I'm not sure if I'm going to. So.
That's kind of become your theme if you don't do it.
Well, we had a publishing company call me about doing a deal for a book. And I called some people and they said, what's the pros and cons versus self-publishing and doing a book deal? And the book deal, they literally said they would make you format it certain ways. I was like, well, what if I don't want to put page numbers? What if I want that to be my thing?
Right.
Like, we can't do that. And I said, well, then scratch the publishing deal. I'll just do it myself.
Yeah.
So it would be cool.
You got an app
Yeah.
that you recently launched, Meters, I think is what you called it. And
Yeah.
I want to talk about Meters. It's a really cool concept, and you got some cool angles that you're going to use it as well.
Yeah.
What was the thought behind it there?
So in 2014, I actually have, I call it my shiny penny file. And it's on an app on my phone, I take notes. And whenever I come up with my harebrained ideas, which is like 36 times a day, I just put them in my shiny penny file, right? And so I came up with this idea and I just wrote Tinder for businesses. So it was like Tinder for businesses,
the app,
right?
yeah,
like
sure.
how do we just, as an entrepreneur, knowing that connections are real, I saw social media, Facebook, Instagram, it's just static. LinkedIn, it's static, right?
Okay.
It's just, I'll send you a message, but if you're not as active as I am, you'll see it 5 days later. So if I go to New York and I'm like, hey, I'm going to be in New York for 5 days, who wants to get together, get a cup of coffee, meet, discuss, talk about ideas, brainstorm, whatever. If you're not as active as I am, or the algorithms now, which show you like literally less than 3% of what your fans or friends are actually posting, you're never going to see it.
Right.
So it's just like this static movement. I was like, what could we do to create something that would literally allow me, if I have an hour in between meetings, I got two choices. I can screw around on social media, respond to some emails, but what if I'm in New York and I want to just go find somebody to grab a cup of coffee with? Another entrepreneur, another business owner. They might be in a completely different demographic than me, but the lifeblood of business, the lifeblood of really anything is relationships, building relationships. And so I had this idea, and we hired a company to build it out, and lost a ton of money there, and then they ended up being a total shit show, and I got super discouraged with it. So about a year and a half ago, I found like a really cool dev company, and I've never done a tech deal in my life, and found this company and told them what I wanted to do, and we built it and tested it, and it was a huge success. People loved it. And then obviously, you know, the COVID thing happened, but it's takes away all of the nuances of social media, right? Going and looking at somebody, stalking them, if you will. It's like, no, dude, like, Tinder is basically like a big picture, because I don't really care about you. I just want to know if you're hot or not. Little information, where ours is kind of a smaller picture, and then 3 points of information. You know, what do you do? What do you like to do? And what do you want? And you have one sentence to describe it. So this is what I do, this is what I like to do, and this is what I want. So I can literally swipe through people. I can be in New York, San Francisco, Austin, Salt Lake City. I just swipe through people, and they're all people that are live and active now, meaning they're right around me in a geographic location. So it's all geo-based. So there might be a dude 3 blocks away that might end up being a potential partner, a potential deal, whatever, and he has a half an hour, I've got a half an hour, let's connect and go grab a cup of coffee.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
So it's like a Tinder app that you're meeting business people when you travel or you're out and about, and you can sit down and grab coffee, eat some lunch, whatever it is, and talk business.
I mean, how do you meet new people
Network,
nowadays, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you legitimately do it? Join like the Rotary Club or some bullshit like that? Like, how do you do that? No offense to Rotary Club, if any Rotary Club fans here or whatever, but like, how do you meet new people, right?
Right.
And you think about social media nowadays with the algorithms and everything else, it's slow. Social media is slow. It's slowing us down. It's a great platform. It's phenomenal. It's brilliant. But if somebody's moving constantly, like if I'm going to a city and I want to meet new people, they might already be in my network or be friends with people that are in my network, but they might never see that I'm actually going to be there. So it's like when you think about time management, you think about growing real relationships, most of the people that work for me, I don't have a lot in common with, right? Like my techie guys, they're nerds. They like Star Trek. I don't really give a shit about Star Trek. But had I not connected with them in some way, shape, or form, they wouldn't be on my team building what I'm doing. So when you think about that, when you strip away all of the, are you a Republican, a Democrat, a Yankees, or a Red Sox fan, you strip away all that bullshit. Who are you? Like, what do you do, and what are you looking for? And all of a sudden, you and I are like, oh, you like hunting, whatever, cool. I'll go sit down and have a cup of coffee with you. There might be something there might be not. You might need to meet my cousin, my uncle, my business partner, whatever. But like, when you think about the real nature of how business is done, new relationships, it all boils down to that connection. And we're in a day and age where even though things are getting faster through technology, it's dumbing us down. It's slowing down human interaction because everything's on this little screen and this keyboard. And I wanted to be able to create something that would allow people like me who want to meet new people, who want to experience new relationships, an opportunity to do that.
And you have it on Apple, Android?
Yep, Apple, Android, yep.
Right on, man. I want to talk about, recently you decided to throw your hat in the ring for a congressional seat. And you ran for a congressional seat here in Utah, 2018. Right. I want to talk about what made you say, hey, I'm in business, I'm successful, you got the Lions Not Sheep already going. What makes you jump in Congress all of a sudden? I've
been active in politics for a long time, but by active meaning I actually enjoy the process. I like it. I'm involved in it. I helped some of the social media with Trump in 2016 and stuff. I thought to myself, like, why not? It was a special election. We had a congressman that had stepped down midterm, so it wasn't a full-blown 18-month campaign. The entire deal was basically a 90-day campaign. Okay. I was like, fuck it, why not? So I found a campaign manager who had managed other campaigns. I said, look, this is what I want to do. Yeah. He's like, let's do it, right? And so I had the social media following and the entire deal. But really, more than that, I wanted to see what the game was about. Like, I wanted to get in the game. We could talk about the game, but I wanted to play the game. Yeah. I wanted to actually put my name on a ballot and run. Yeah. And have conversations around topics and talk about taxes and talk about healthcare and talk about these things that I'm passionate about, that I'm experiencing in life. And it was a really, really, really cool experience. I learned a lot in running. And what was fascinating is because it was such a short election, like, it was just like balls to the wall, all out, trying to win this thing. But what was really fascinating to me, my biggest takeaway from it, which I'll do it again. I mean, I love politics. I'll be involved in it, my entire life. But I realized like how corrupt it really is. And we don't need to go down this rabbit hole unless you want to go down this rabbit hole. But what was really fascinating is I ran as an unaffiliated candidate. So I'm an independent conservative is what I consider myself. I'm, conservative on some issues. I'm a little more liberal on some issues, so on and so forth. I ran as an unaffiliated candidate. So it was the Republican, there was the Democrat, there was the Independent, and then there was me. And so there was 3 televised debates.
Okay.
And you had to poll high enough to be in any of the televised debates. Well,
Are these local or nationwide?
These were all local. So this was the
TV.
local congressional seat, local news, local media. And I polled at 0 for all 3 of the debates. Okay. Now, naturally, the Republican, the Democrat, the Independent, and then the Libertarian all polled high enough to be included in the debates. I was kind of the wild card, right?
Okay.
I did a bunch of really funny social media videos that ended up going, like I mocked politicians.
Right.
I did a really cool campaign video where like, I was doing the same shit that you see from every other candidate for the last 100 years. I care about America, and we're going to fix America. We're going to do all this bullshit.
Friends.
I basically mocked them. I mocked every politician with this one video that ended up going viral. We were at a town hall debate down in Moab, and a couple of other a couple of other candidates leaned over like, dude, that was freaking hilarious. That was really damn funny. Because I'm literally mocking the entire process. Anyways, to make a long story short, I pulled at 0 for all 3 of the debates, and I was like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Come the general election, I actually beat the Libertarian, which as an unaffiliated candidate has never happened before. And I beat him handily. And what's fascinating is like, I started looking at this process. I'm like, well, naturally you don't want me to debate some of these good old boys that were running that were your typical shoo-ins.
Right.
And so I started, doing some research and looking deeper, and I didn't realize this, but the polling companies are actually owned by major media corporations. I didn't know this. I thought polling companies were all independent.
Right.
Well, all the big media companies, they own the polling companies.
Okay.
So naturally, when you want your candidate, I mean, the same polling company that had me at 0 was the same polling company that had Hillary winning by 13 points the week of the election.
Right.
I mean, when you think about it from a national level to a local level, the entire game is fucking corrupt.
Polling company.
The entire game is corrupt. And so I learned some really valuable lessons on not only the local level, but the national level of the media manipulation, of a lot of this other stuff. But it was a cool experience.
And you think you'll do it again?
100%.
With the corruptness still there?
Once you get inside the game and you understand the game, then you know how to beat the game. Right. Most people aren't inside the game. We've never been inside the game. We've never run. And we look at it from the outside, we read the headlines, we see what everybody else is saying, what everybody else is doing, but I literally beat the candidate that ended up, the Libertarian who polled just high enough to be in all 3 of the televised debates. I beat him in the general. Okay. And you stop and think about that one thing alone, how do you explain that? How is that explained at all? You can't. It's just flat out fraud. They just flat out manipulated and made up the numbers. And so now that I know the polling game, you know what I'm saying? You hear Trump talk about fake news all the time and all this other stuff. And once you understand that game, the next time I run, what's going to happen when that polling company tries to put numbers behind my name? Right. I'm going to be like, really? You said this the last time, and here's what the truth really was. Now I can literally defeat them in their own game out of the gates with facts. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you have to get in the game and learn it the hard way.
So even right now, we got the debate with the election happening this year, and even right now, you got Biden up winning whatever it is. Like these polling companies are talking about, he's like 18 points ahead right now. You think it's all BS?
Dude, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Trump will win by the single largest margin of any president in American history.
That's a bold
2020.
one.
I'll put money on it. I'll put my Jordans on it.
Okay.
100%.
So you think that
100%.
Trump will win by the biggest landslide?
The largest margin of any president in American history.
This go
period,
around.
in 2020.
Over Biden. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I see Biden with his rallies that has like 8 people at them, right? With the mask on, and like everybody's wearing the mask, and they're 9 feet apart from each other, sitting in chairs. And you go to Tulsa, Trump just had one recently there, and has thousands and thousands there. But then you look at the polls, and it's the exact opposite, showing what's happening there.
Exactly. That's why Sean Whalen never polled high enough to get into debates. You don't want me to debate in television.
Yeah.
You don't want me standing up on stage with some crackerjack box cookie cutter Republican who's going to spit the same rhetoric that everybody else has been spitting for years. Because I'm going to call him on it. Because when you know somebody's shit, this gentleman who ran, who won, who was a Democrat, who switched to Republican so he could win the seat, I'd call you on that shit. You don't want that on TV.
Yeah.
You don't want that televised. You know what I mean? So, dude, we don't want him on the stage. The whole polling game, I believe 0 polls that are out there, period. End of story.
Really?
0.
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna do. I've never done this before. I'm gonna. It'd be good for the show and everything. I wanna take you on a bet.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to think of something. You're a Yankees fan?
Yankees fan.
Okay. I got some Mickey Mantle cards that I could put up for it. I want to take a bet. I want to see where you come back. I'm going to come back.
Who's your baseball team?
Yankees. I'm a Yankees man.
Oh, I was going to say, I'll bet you. I'll take you to a game. You take me to a game. But
you got whether
How about this? Either way, we'll both win. We'll end up at a Yankees game. Either I'll pay for it or you'll pay for it. I like that.
All right,
bet.
you
That's
pay
good
for it or I
negotiation,
pay
right?
for it.
That's gangster.
But I'm a Yankees
Done.
fan, dude, and we'll do behind third base.
Sure.
Yankee Stadium.
Done.
I think that Trump will win, but I think he won't win by the greatest landslide of any presidential candidate.
I'll take you on that bet.
You'll take me in the bet?
Take you in the
And
bet.
if I win, you take me. And if I win, I'll take you.
Yep.
And we'll put on
I'm
social
an
media.
expensive date, dude. I'm an expensive date, just so you know. I want a helicopter into the
The
stadium.
helicopter ride
the whole
into
deal.
it, and the restaurants after.
I really
man.
do think. I think that.
That's a bold statement. I mean, I
well,
went
dude,
back
we
to thinking
can
about it.
We can go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I
want to
go down because
like
I'm trying to figure out where you're getting like this landslide from. Like, where are you coming with that?
we talked about this a little bit earlier. Like, how many Trump signs did you see in people's front yards in 2016?
I'm from the South. I mean, we had a decent amount.
Okay, decent.
Yeah.
Not
overwhelming.
You didn't see an overwhelming amount of
No.
signs anywhere. I travel all the time. You don't see Trump signs in people's front yards. You just don't.
Right.
Yet he crushed the election.
Yeah.
When you talk about the silent majority.
Okay,
There are more
term.
people that agree with that man, that are on that man's side, than are willing to talk about on social media or by putting a yard sign in their front yard. And that's the real stick with him is people got into the voting booth and they were like, that's my guy. They wouldn't talk about it, because if you talk about it, Aunt Karen won't come to Thanksgiving dinner, and so blah, 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 blah. So we just don't talk about any of this shit at all. When you really think about what he has done over the last couple of years in defeating the barrage of attempts to try and discredit him and get him out of office, he's won at every single turn. And there's more people, like we talked about before, how many older people are stepping up going, dude, that's my guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're in a day and age where people are realizing, like, you might not agree with some of the things that he is or that he says, his morality on some things, but that dude's he's a warrior, man. He's gone through so much shit in 4 years, and I think the tide is turning where people are looking at him going, you can't just keep lambasting this guy over nothing because he's winning, and the things that he's talking about are true. And so to me, I think that you're going to see a massive amount of people that were on the fence or maybe didn't vote that are like, this needs to be my guy, that are going to come out and, I mean, come on, Biden, really? I mean, you got to put somebody better up against Trump. Like, as a side note, my like true humble prayer, I keep asking God every day when I wake up, I'm like, please just make sure that Biden stays in the race long enough to make one debate with Trump. That's all I care about. I want to see Trump and Biden debate one time. That's all I care about, is the one debate where they go at it. Because it's going to be humiliating. It's going to be absolutely fucking humiliating. But, I mean, I think that Trump is winning the people far more than what's being reported on the TV or what people are talking about.
Why do you think that the media, I mean, as soon as he came out running for president, it was nonstop, right? Just every network just blasting from every angle they could possibly find. And it has been that way every single day for 4 years straight, like nonstop.
6 years, 2 years while he ran.
Dude, what is their, why are they so attacking that one guy right there? Like relentlessly, anything he does.
He's different, man. He's different.
Are they bought?
What I mean?
Is the media inside of it? Is it?
Well, we all know where the media really is. Like, I don't know anybody that believes anything the media says anymore. You know what I mean? They're so full of shit on what they say and embellishing this, that, and the other. But like, when you really stop and think about Trump, he's not a politician. He's never been a politician.
Yeah.
We talked about this, earlier. Like, in my opinion, next to Ronald Reagan standing at the Berlin Wall saying, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall," I think one of the most prolific things to happen in American presidential history was that very first Republican debate with Donald Trump. Okay. And in my opinion, this is why this guy is so fucking powerful, and why it is that people believe in him and want him to win or stand behind him is, the very first question of the very first Republican debate. There's 16 of the candidates standing up there.
All Republicans.
It's the Republican debate, Fox News, Megyn Kelly, blah, 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 the whole nine. They got Trump front and center, all the lights, the entire deal, right?
Yeah.
And the very first question of the very first Republican debate was without question, aimed to try and get this guy out. And the question was, if any of you was to not get the Republican nomination, which of you would run as an independent? Now, this is the Republican debate. This is you're trying to win the GOP. There's 16 of these ass clowns that are all trying to freaking pander for the same job, right? That question, there was only one person they were asking that question to, which is if you didn't get the Republican nod and you weren't the guy for the ticket, would you run as an independent? And I mean, you could hear it, like the crowd, oh, they asked him that, and all the candidates are looking at each other. Everybody's there. It's the very first debate, right? And you stop and think about it, like all of those politicians, like their buttholes puckered up. They're like, oh, watch this, Trump's gonna freaking make an ass out of himself. And one hand went up, 16. And it was Donald Trump's hand. And you could hear people, well, it's on YouTube, you can go look at it. You hear people laughing and Megyn Kelly, oh, Mr. Trump, you know that this is the Republican debate and you're here to win the hearts of the Republican people and the whole thing. And in that moment, what people don't realize is that dude single-handedly said, fuck you, I'll do it myself. He literally told the entire world, I don't give a fuck if I get your nod or not. I'll do it my way. And that's the difference between that guy and every other politician that's coming to the office is every other dude's had to pander to somebody. The guy's net worth is dropped by, supposedly, according to the reports, almost $1 billion. Most dudes come into office without a pot to piss in, then they make hundreds of millions of dollars. This dude's losing money by being president. He's got his own, he doesn't have a jet, he's got a fucking jumbo jet with his name already on the sign. Dude, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guarantee you Air Force One is probably a downgrade compared to the gold toilets that he has in his Trump freaking airplane. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you stop and think about what that guy did in day one, the very first question, the fact that you can have the balls big enough to say, I want to do this, and I'm going to do it my way, and I'm going to do it with or without you. That's gangster shit. That's next level shit. That's that heart of the entrepreneur. That's the heart of like the dude who will get knocked down and knocked down and knocked down and say, fuck you, I'm coming back. And he'll keep swinging and he'll keep winning and he'll keep winning. You know what I mean? And that's what's in the essence of that guy. And I think truly that's what people are starting to see is years have gone by of people just blasting him and blasting him and blasting him and blasting him. And there's a reason they call him the Teflon Don.
You think it was like a mental chess move on his part, saying, coming out, man. Saying, this 100%. Is who I'll be? And you think he was a tragedy of silent majority? Day one, from him coming down the stairs. I mean, it was a Simpsons episode, for Christ's sake. It was crazy. They mocked the guy on the fucking Simpsons coming down the stairs, and here he is coming down the stairs, right? Like doing the exact thing they're making fun of him for. Everyone mocked him. Every media outlet mocked him. Republicans mocked him. Democrats mocked him. I'm running for president, right? And this time it wasn't 2000. He was like in the game. Day one. He was the clown, he was the show, he was the circus, he was the deal. But that dude believed in himself more than any other person on the planet. And to me, like as a dad, as an entrepreneur, I want to instill that in my kids. I want that. Like I want that level of confidence where, dude, no matter what anybody says, I'm gonna win. And I'm gonna fight like a motherfucker until I win. You know what I'm saying? Since day one, that guy had every single person against him, including the Republican Party. Including Republicans, right?
Including the Republican Party. And that's why, to me, that very first question of the Republican debate was probably one of the most prolific things that's happened in this country in 100 years. For a guy to come out and say, in the Republican debate, fuck the GOP, I'll do it with or without you, dude, that's next level shit.
Yeah, I think about him, what you're talking about there, and then I think about you, okay? And you're one of those brands that actually says what you're saying right now. Most, I mean, you know this, most brands will never say what you're saying right now. Even if they believe it. They won't say it.
Most people won't. Most people won't, you know, and that's, I think, the difference between what I'm doing with Lions Not Sheep and me personally, you know, the Sean Whalen brand, the Lions Not Sheep brand is I get more comments like that every single day than anything else. Dude, you're saying this, like, love this video. You say the stuff that I'm thinking that I wish I could say, but I can't say because of God, church, family, business, work. The laundry list of reasons is endless, right? But at the end of the day, like that's what I have found for me is like the more I live the shit and speak the shit that's inside of my heart and inside of my mind and inside of my soul, the happier I am, the more free I am. Like to me, that's freedom, is being able to say the things you want to say when you want to say them. If it pisses you off, I don't really give a shit, right? That's your thing to deal with. You know what I mean? Those are your emotions. And I think what's really fascinating right now is we're seeing that tipping point in the culture of America. You know, we've had 50 years of do it this way, say it this way, don't say anything that's going to offend anybody, going literally back to how we were raised and programmed.
Right.
Don't say anything that's going to offend anybody else. And now all of a sudden, crazy Uncle Larry with orange hair comes in and he's like, fuck this, I'm going to say it how I want to say it. People are like, holy shit. Well, I actually agree with him. I like him.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to vote for him. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what's really fun about not only the political conversation, but the business conversation. You know, is the dudes that are out there speaking their truth, like not giving a damn what blowback you get. I don't care. Like when the whole COVID thing came out, I called it a scam day one. I was like, this is a total fucking scam. 20,000 people unfollowed me within 24 hours.
20,000?
20,000. Dude, I had death threats, people saying, you're a murderer, how could you say this? You're insensitive to human beings. Well, fast forward to today, it's a fucking scam. It's been proven to be a fucking scam. You know what I mean? Like, I had the balls to say what it is that I felt and that I thought. I didn't really give a shit if it offended you, because it's my truth, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's something that's really, really, really needed, to be really candid. Like, you can't have everything be fluffy puffy.
Right.
It can't all be airy fairy. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
We grew up playing Red Rover and Smear the Queer and friggin' dodgeball, and you wanted to smack the kid in the face, right?
Right.
That's how we grew up.
The games we played.
My kids can't play tag at their school.
Really?
My kids cannot play tag at their school. You can't have any physical contact on the playground.
Yeah.
You stop and think about that, dude. It's not normal. That's not normal. You know what I mean? And I think having these hard conversations is normal. It's how it should be. We should be able to say the shit that we want to say. And if you say something I don't agree with, that's totally fine. That's your deal. But to try and silence you or silence me from saying what it is that we really want to say and how we really feel because it hurts your feelings, dude, fuck off.
Interesting, dude. Yeah, I mean, you're one of the rare ones who will get there and say that stuff, dude.
Yeah.
It's amazing. That's why I am attracted to, like love your brand, love following you. You think Trump it would be part of the lion, not sheep?
Oh, hell yeah, for sure.
You'd have
Absolutely.
him speak at your place, no problem?
Yeah, I have a goal. Like these are one of my secret goals. I want to get a picture with him wearing a Lions Not Sheep t-shirt. Somehow I'm going to do it.
Dude,
I've marked my words. It will happen at some
Yeah.
point in time. I don't think the dude's ever worn a t-shirt in his life. He's he was born and raised in a friggin' suit. But like that's one of my goals is to have a
Donald Trump and a Lions Not Sheep.
When you really think about like that essence, right? Strip away all the bullshit that you think you know, all of the media headlines that you've read. When you stop and think about this dude, like he speaks his mind, and he doesn't care. You know what I mean? Like it's really funny when you think about how he ended up meeting with Kim Jong-un, right?
Right.
Clinton didn't do it. Bush didn't do it. How Obama didn't do it. They couldn't make that shit happen. He's on Twitter calling him Rocket Man, like mocking the dude. He's literally mocking this guy who's the president of another country who has apparently a nuclear arsenal. He's like, nah, fuck you, Rocket Man. And everybody's like blowing their minds. Their minds are literally exploding.
Yeah.
He's gonna call us World War III. Oh my God, shut him down. Next thing you know, he's shaking the motherfucker's hand.
Yeah. And
He's doing it completely different than what anybody has done in the last 100 years. Completely different. Yet it's working.
Right.
It's working. You can't deny that. And like to me, that's where I look at it and say my life, the way that I'm doing things right now, like I've built the shit that I want to build. Like my businesses are good, my cash position is good, my kids are good, my health is good, I'm in the best shape I've ever been in. I'm happy, I feel pretty good. I have my shitty days, but like I'm doing it completely different than what most other people do. And so to me, it's like the results prove it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so the definition of
you
insanity
think about
is,
like he did. You talk about what he did there. He also did like move in to Jerusalem, the city to Jerusalem, right in Israel, and made that one. Then he also did the prison reform that everybody has talked about for like 40 plus years.
Right.
They talked about making prison reform, and then this is the guy that actually does it.
Yeah.
But then again, he turns around and gets attacked for it nonstop.
yeah, I mean, people that talk about, dude, you got to take, people that still talk about his Twitter, I'm like, dude, how stupid are you? Like, how dumb are you really? You know what I mean? That guy single-handedly met with Kim Jong-un because of Twitter, because he mocked him on Twitter. That doesn't make sense to most people. Check the boxes, the analytical conversation of what politics is and what a leader should be, this, that, and the other. It's really easy to talk about that.
Right.
He actually did it. He actually did it. And that's what I always talk about, like with Lions Not Sheep, is it's one of my favorite quotes is the Man in the Arena by Teddy Roosevelt, you know? It's super easy to be in the cheap seats, drinking a beer, eating a hot dog, yelling at the fighter, punch him in the face.
Yeah.
Like, no shit, dude, that's what I'm trying to fucking do, right? But like, it's really easy to do that. And it's really easy to take that fight afterwards, replay it in slow motion. You should have and you could have. It's super easy to do that. It's really, really, really easy to do that. I mean, that's what political pundits are employed to do.
Right.
That's what sports broadcasters are paid to do, is tear apart your performance. But the motherfucker on the field, that's the reason the dude makes more money than everybody else, because it's him that has to perform. And sometimes it's this way and sometimes it's this way, and it doesn't make sense to a lot of people. But at the end of the day, like, I think that's the separation of a true leader. Is, dude, if you're really thinking about leading, like, if I'm following a path that's already been blazed, I'm not leading shit.
Yeah.
I'm just following somebody else that's already done it. So true leadership is blazing a path, going someplace where no one else has gone. There is no clear-cut plan. There is no path to follow. You're fucking creating the path. You're blazing your own path. That's scary shit, man. And it's really, really, really easy to judge that. You should have taken this path. You should have said it this way. You should have done it this way. Well, that's the reason I'm up here and you're over there. You know what I mean? That's the reason I'm making millions, you're not. That's the reason I'm flying the jet, you're not. You name any of the things, but that's the reason, you know, the baseball players are freaking getting paid what they're getting paid, and the 40,000 people sitting in the seats aren't.
Are paying to watch it, actually. You think that, you think one day we'll see a Sean Whalen 2028, 2032?
2024.
2024? That's what you're shooting for?
Yeah.
That's cool, dude. You pulling for Ivanka or Don Jr. to run?
Our first female president will be Ivanka.
You think so?
Our first female president will be Ivanka Trump. Don Jr. won't ever do it.
Don Jr. won't?
I know Don, and he's a really cool guy.
Yeah.
He won't do it. He won't do it. Even if the family wanted him to, he wouldn't.
And no Eric?
I mean, Eric could, but like, I think that the legacy that you'll see of the Trump family will be, senior will be Don, and then Ivanka.
You think Ivanka will be next?
Yeah. I don't think next. I'll be the next president, 2024.
So 2024, Sean Whalen.
Me. Yeah.
And then will you win your second term?
Yeah. So that would be what, 20 what?
That's 2028. You'd win that one. So that's 2032.
Yeah. 2032. Ivanka can.
Ivanka can take it from
After
you,
me.
or you'll basically give it over to her in 2032.
Yeah. Let her have it.
That's nice, bro.
Maybe I'll change the game though, and I'll start running I'll be like the first 3-term president.
Like FDR, just kind of
do
rewrite
that.
it and do your own thing there. I got a fun session for you, bro. This has been awesome so far. I got a fun session here where I'm gonna call it rapid fire.
Okay.
And just first what pops to your head, whatever it is, shoot it off, and then we'll go back and circle back and talk about some of them that you want to talk about. Rapid fire here. Tactical shotgun or AR-15?
AR-15.
Nice. What comes to your mind when I say snowflake?
Democrats.
All right. Scale 1 to 10. How important is it to build your personal brand?
10.
10.
100.
100. Personal brand. I want to come back to that one. I like that one
For sure.
You call it COVID-19 or China flu?
I call it the scamdemic.
If you're in a fight, you want knockout or submission?
Knockout.
Tennessee whiskey or Mexican tequila?
Whiskey.
Tax reform or immigration reform?
Flat tax.
Flat tax. Ooh, I like that one.
We can come back to that one too.
You want to come back to that one? Would you rather have money or power?
Money.
Money. Okay. Let's see. This is a true or false.
Okay.
Everyone should have a right to vote.
Everyone should have a right to vote. Sure, if you're illegal. Legal, if you're legal, not illegal. That sounded like illegal.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a good one. True or false? Everyone's vote should count the exact same.
Dude, I love the idea of popular vote. I really do.
Okay.
Not fair, but we could go down that rabbit hole if you want to, but I love the idea of like no holds barred. You gotta go win them all. You know what I mean? That'd be freaking gangster. That'd be really cool.
Popular vote there?
I think that'd be fun.
Okay.
Just give it a whirl. Let's just try it for a couple elections and see how it works.
Pick one. Kim Jong-un or Vladimir Putin?
Kim Jong-un. I don't know why I like that guy. He seems like a cool guy.
Rank these in your top 3, 1, 2, 3 of your favorites. Pelosi, Schiff, Schumer.
Jesus Christ. Is it so
Top
on
3.
a sinking ship in the middle of the Atlantic? Is that right?
You make up
I
your own
don't even
story
know.
here.
I start going into convulsions when I think about Nancy Pelosi. So let's skip this question.
Okay. Steak, medium rare, well done.
Medium rare.
Medium rare. Desert Eagle 50 or that 1911 Colt 45?
For show or for performance? I'm a showy guy, so I like the
let's go
desert.
showy.
I like the Desert Eagle.
The Desert Eagle 50?
Yep.
All right, let's go back to some of these, man. You had some good ones here.
In fact, we can show on your screen right
we'll
now
pull
a
up.
photo shoot I just did with my Desert Eagle.
Okay.
So on this part right here is where the picture's going to be, or right over here. It's a
Of
badass
your
picture
Desert Eagle?
Of my Desert Eagle.
Yeah, we'll get it from you, bro.
Cool.
Let's go back to some of these. You had some cool ones, man. What's up with the snowflake stuff?
It's a fun name. It works, but like, if you think about what it really is, it's the weakening of our culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's men are men. Like something I continue to share with people that a lot of people have a hard time understanding is you can't beat Mother Nature. Okay? No matter what you legislate, no matter what you bitch and moan and cry and protest and blah, 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 you can't beat Mother Nature. There's always going to be somebody at the top of the totem pole, at the bottom of the totem pole, and a lot of people in between. There's always going to be somebody with more money than you, somebody with less money than you. There's always going to be some dude out there stronger than you and some dude weaker than you. You can't beat that. That's how it's been since the dawn of creation. And I think this entire quote unquote snowflake idea that your feelings are never supposed to be hurt, it's not even logical. Forget like practical. It's not even logical. You know what I'm saying? And somehow, some way, people have started to believe that should be logical. Like it should be that we're all the same. We all look the same. We smell the same. It's not possible. You know what I'm saying? And I think the more people like kick and scream and fight for this, the dumber it gets. And your argument is so futile that it's like, it's just nuts. You know what I mean? So you call it whatever you want, snowflake, this, that, or the other. I mean, I really enjoy our culture right now. I truly believe in polarity. I think that in order to appreciate the light, you have to go through some dark, and vice versa. And so to me, like we've had not a lot of conversation for a lot of years. It's just been this muted, we don't talk a lot, we don't say a lot, and enter social media, now everybody's got a fucking megaphone in their hand. And I think it's dope because it's opening people up to real conversations. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, there will always be somebody that's more powerful than you. That's how it's been since the dawn of creation. Not Republican, Democrat, gay, straight, black, white. That's how Mother Nature created it. You know what I'm saying? There's always gonna be somebody out there that can beat my ass, and there's tons of dudes that I can beat their ass. That's just how it will always be. There will never be a neutral playing field. And if you're fighting for that or trying for that, you're literally trying to rewrite nature. It can't happen. So it's like, if that's the case, then what do we do with it? And I'm a firm believer of raising children. I'm raising my children to be as high up on the totem pole as possible. I want to be the killer. I don't want to be the killed. I want to be the hunter, not the hunted. You know what I'm saying? So if it's an opportunity for me to become successful or be, enslaved to someone, I would rather be the successful one, right? And so that's my entire philosophy with not only being a parent, with being a man, is, dude, I want to be the warrior in the garden, not a gardener in the war. And that's what I train my mind to be. That's what I train my body to be, is like, I want to be living in peace, enjoying my life, but make no mistake, I want to kill every motherfucker that comes my way that threatens me, period. So like that entire reality, I think, is so scary to people because somehow you think 911's going to save you, or mom's going to save you, or the teacher on the playground's going to save you. You know what I'm saying? And it's just it's not how it's ever going to be.
You think that, I see on your Facebook, man, with your posts and so forth, just recently you posted a big one with everything going on Antifa. Right, a little bit different from Snowflake per se, but you posted the stuff on Antifa. And I know Trump's doing some stuff there as well, but do you think Antifa is there just to cause problems, just to cause the issues, or are they really trying to cause focus and attention to the problem, like Chaz or whatever it is that they're jumping into the time?
Look, who is it really, right? We can put labels on stuff and call it Antifa, call it this, call it that. I mean, you drop 99% of these people that claim some sort of allegiance with that, you drop them off in a third world country, they'd be dead in a week. They'd be dead in a week. They're like claiming this radical, I'm gonna do my own thing, yet you're going over to Starbucks and getting your no soy, frip, light, bullshit frappuccino kind of a drink, right? It's like this Chaz thing. They're like asking for these vegan meals to be sent in and shit like that. Motherfuckers, you wouldn't survive in the real world. You wouldn't survive if you had to actually survive, And I think, I personally think it's a cool thing. I think that's great. It forces people to go one way or the other. Like if you want to survive, you're going to have to create that. I mean, something as simple as, in fact, I was doing a podcast interview the other day, we were talking about this, about survival, about Chaz, and about all these people that are like trying to fight, but not really engaging in a real fight. You're just throwing a temper tantrum. You got 6 blocks in Seattle, you're throwing a fucking temper tantrum. What are you really doing? You know what I'm saying? But like, take this for an example. Let's just imagine that the power goes out. And I'm not talking for a couple of days and you call Comcast, hey, the power's out. Imagine the power goes out for 6 months, globally.
No power, no heat, no AC.
90% of the population of this planet would be dead in 6 months. Your cards in your pocket don't transfer money anymore. There is no more transportation because there's no electric to get the gas out of the places that you're used to just going and getting it out of a pump. There's no more communication because all the cell phones are dead and you don't know shit about friggin' solar or anything else. Food's gone. Every single store's been raided and looted, and there's no refrigeration, so everything that's perishable in your fridge is gone. Like, if you really stop and think about, like, breaking everything down to a primal level, like, where are people really? Can people survive?
Right.
I'm talking food, water, shelter.
The
right?
basics.
If something is simple, and now we wrap our head around this conversation, we're like, it's never gonna happen, right? I'll just call somebody and the lights will go back on.
Right.
That's the reality that we live in. Oh, you're hurting my feelings, I'll just call somebody and they'll solve it for me. I don't like how you're treating me. I'm gonna tell somebody and pretend that I'm oppressed, and then you'll get in trouble and I'll always win that. If the power, bro, something as simple as the power went out, let's say it's a solar flare, and the smartest people on the planet can't fix it, right? And it's taken 6 months. Something as simple as that, like 9 out of 10 people would die from starvation.
Yeah.
They don't know how to hunt. They've never been hunting. They don't know how to go get water. They don't know how to create shelter. When you stop and think about things, these are the things that, like, I'm always thinking about in my mind, is like, how do I break everything down to the simplest form? From my business to communication to messages to marketing, you know what I'm saying? Like, real simple shit. It's not complex, right?
Okay.
Flat tax. Flat tax is really simple. It's a flat tax. Every single person on the planet would go for a flat tax. How many millionaires are paying 40%? All of them. Would you rather pay 10%? Yes, great. You got every millionaire in the country to vote for you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When you start and, like, really think about the complexity and all of these things that we have in our life, a lot of these kids, and we blame it on millennials and all this other stuff, it's the parents' problem. It's the parents' fault. They're your kids. You could say the whole generation's fucked. Well, they're your generation. You raised those little motherfuckers. You're the one that fucked them up. You're the one that didn't spank them when they need to be spanked, and discipline them. And I mean, you listen to little kids tell their parents to fuck off.
Right.
Dude, if I even looked at my mom crooked, my dad would knock me across the freaking room. That's just how I was raised. Everybody that I know was raised that way, and we turned out okay, right? If you ask my ex-wife, she'll say different. But when you really, like, break it down to the simplest form, man, like, this whole snowflake conversation and stuff like that, like, we're really doing a disservice to our culture by not talking about these things, by not instituting these things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, our world is violent. Mother Nature is a savage fucking bitch. Like, she tears things apart and at a whim's notice will open up the earth and swallow towns.
With no concern.
That ain't me, that ain't Republican or Democrat or black or white, that's Mother Nature. Like, it's savage.
Yeah.
We came into this world somehow thinking like we can just have everybody else handle our problems and solve our shit. And if something as simple as the power went out, most people would die of starvation.
Yeah.
And so my entire philosophy is understanding, like, I want to know the things that will help me survive. Not just like in this experience, but as a father, right? Breaking things down simply to my children, having real conversations around this stuff. Most kids, they get a flat tire, what do? They call their
somebody.
mom or dad.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Right.
I call AAA. Can someone come change my tire? Like, when you try and take these snowflakes, these kids, and put them out into the real world, it fucking swallows them up. Now you have an entire culture thinking like you're gonna put up fences and cardboard boxes and take over this city block and 6 city blocks up in freaking Seattle. They don't know shit about the real world. They can't even feed themselves, for Christ's sake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, for me, like, I don't know, I mean, I guess I'm going off on a tangent about this whole thing, but
No, dude,
I'm passionate about it,
yeah, you're
man.
passionate.
I'm
It's
passionate
coming
about
out.
like these kinds of conversations because they're real and they're simple.
They need to be had, right?
They have to. We need to have these conversations, and I hate to break it to people, but this is truth. The truth is that the power went out, most people would die.
Yeah.
Most people would starve to death, and there isn't a government program, there isn't a freaking welfare system that'll save everybody. It won't happen. It can't happen. If that's truth and that's real, then what do?
Yeah.
Well, why don't we start empowering people to, like, become killers, become their own freaking production, learn how to freaking live, not just build businesses and make a ton of money, but
Right.
just to fucking live, handle their own emotions, handle their own security, handle their own shit. You know what I'm saying? It's
I've
an
been
interesting.
talking to you now for an hour or so, and I think about. I want to go back to
We're just getting started.
your company, bro. because now that like people see who Sean Whalen is, they haven't seen you before. You're probably obviously inspiring people are now watching. You're like, dude, who is this guy? I want to go back and I want to try to give them an insight into if they were to come to an event with you, Lions Not Sheep. And I've heard some pretty cool stories of some stuff that you could do, some interactions, some training, some courses. It's a lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
If you can. What would be, in your opinion, looking at all the events you've done and all the different tactical trainings and different things you've done, what's been some of the crazy, what was like one crazy story? So these viewers get a sneak peek behind you, man. What would that be at a Sheep's Not Lion? You're like, oh, do this one time.
There's a lot. We have a lot.
Because it's not just sitting in chairs talking, right?
No, I mean, the Lions Not Sheep experience is a 3-day experience. And the reason that I started is because I went through an experience when I went through my meltdown, and I always say this, and there's a time and a place for hugs and high fives, and there's a time and a place to get kicked in the face.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that need to get kicked in the face. There's a lot of people that need to get punched square in the freaking mouth, literally and physically, to wake them the fuck up. And I was one of those guys that needed to get punched in the face. Like, I can have all the hugs and attaboys and the whole thing, but that wasn't what I needed. And so I found, as I went through my journey, like, there's a lot of people out there, specifically men, that are stuck in this reality where, it's easy for us to build yes men around us, and it's easy for us to, find people that'll say, oh, just keep going, you'll get it, you'll get there. But the truth is, like, you might need to just get woken the fuck up. And so, just thinking about it, I'll just tell you one of the things that we do.
I want to hear something.
I can tell you lots of stories of people almost. I mean, you have to sign a death waiver. Just FYI.
Oh, really?
Like, you sign a waiver that says that you might die.
So for you come in, you sign a death waiver
There's
for
a
it.
very high likelihood that you might die. Nobody's died yet.
And you do these in your warehouse?
We've had some people close. No.
You don't do these in your warehouse? Okay.
I can't tell you where.
There's secret locations, all right.
In the mountains.
Okay.
One of the very first things that we do is fight.
Wow. You
Fist
fight right there at the thing.
One of the very first things, day one, is we fist fight, and I'll tell you why. Because fighting's terrifying.
Yeah.
Physical violence is terrifying, and most men are terrified of fighting. Mike Tyson, his documentary, he talks about how he used to become violently ill, violently sick behind the stage before he would come out for every one of his fights. He was so scared to fight.
Interesting.
He was so terrified to fight. And this was one of the most vicious men to ever step in the ring.
Yeah.
And he would become violently ill. Most men are scared of physical violence. And what I have found in my own personal journey is the more I do things that scare me, the less I'm scared of them.
Okay.
And so you can relate this to business, you can relate this to relationships, you can relate this to interaction with other people, with my children. We're scared to have tough conversations, and so we avoid tough conversations. And so we play in this level of like superficial land, and we wonder why we don't get big results. And so one of the things like that I relate it to, just by way of conversation, is you imagine coming home after a long day, and most men will relate to this, and you walk in the door and your wife's like, the kids have been shitty all day long, they pissed all over the floor, the freaking Cheerios are stuck on the ceiling, it's just madness, right? You come in and she's nagging at you and the whole thing, and the very first thing you do, you're just like, fuck, dude, and it just turns into a war, right?
Yeah.
And so when you think about fighting, like, one of the things that I teach guys, I've had 5 professional MMA fights, is you can't hit what you can't see.
Okay, true.
And most of us run. Most of us turn away. We turn our back. Somebody starts throwing punches at us, we turn away. And that's one of the worst things that you can do. And so when you relate that to a relationship, like if you're constantly running from hard experiences, hard conversations, difficult things, no wonder you're not getting any results. Same thing in business. If you're running a business and you're afraid to have the tough conversations and really dive into numbers and do all these other things, don't be surprised why you keep getting your ass kicked. And so one of the philosophies that I have around fighting is that it's terrifying, but it's also one of the most liberating things you can do. Because once you experience it and you get to the other side of it, you realize, holy shit, I'm so much more capable and so much more powerful than I thought I was before this.
Yeah.
And so throwing guys in and literally fist fight, having real fights, is one of the most empowering things that we do, because it's terrifying. And what I teach guys is finding the eye of the hurricane. Like when you find yourself in chaos, when I was in chaos, I just poured gas on it, or I sedated. Anything, you name the sedation: work, sex, drugs, alcohol. There's a million ways that we sedate. And so when we find ourselves in this place of chaos, one of the things that I am rooted on with Lions Not Sheep and the Lions Not Sheep experience is you have to find the eye of the hurricane. You have to be able to find a place where you can gather your thoughts, get clear on what your objective is, what your mission is. So as you're coming home as a man, just using a relative, very figurative reality, you walk in and it's chaos and the kids are running and the wife is there and you've just had a shitty day and you lost millions, you made whatever it is, right? Our natural reaction is to go into that fighter mode or turn away and run. And so if you can find a way to create the eye of the hurricane and find that stability, find that clarity, then you can make it through to the other side. And so when guys come into the Lions Not Sheep experience, I mean, most dudes are terrified of fighting.
Yeah.
I am. I mean, straight up, I've had 5 MMA fights and I would say it's terrifying to me. But I've done it enough times that I'm more comfortable than I was before. And so for me, the entire experience around the Lions Not Sheep experience and around Lions Not Sheep period is jumping into the deep end of the pool. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you think about how many times you've jumped and you've never splat on the ground. You've always found a way to build the wings. You've always found a way to solve the problem.
Right.
But we're programmed not to jump, not to do scary shit, right? We hold on to money. We have to save and we have to have all of this and I want to live my dreams and I want to grow and I want to build, but I'm terrified and I have this scarcity mentality, right? And we never jump. And here we are at 60 years old going, shit, I had all these ideas and all these dreams and all these visions and I didn't do anything with them.
Yeah.
And so for me, the Lions Not Sheep experience specifically with fighting is doing shit that scares you, that's truly terrifying. Because when you make it to the other side of these experiences, like the amount of endorphins and the liberation that you have from yourself, what can I do? Now what's next? What's possible? I'm doing some of the scariest shit known to man, which is literal physical violence. All of a sudden you start thinking about coming home and all that stuff and you're like, oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
That shit's easy. That's not a big deal. That's easy now.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure.
And so for me, it's repetition and knowing that the more I put myself in scary situations, vulnerable situations. Same thing with why I share what I share online, talking about divorce and depression and talking about my fears and my anxieties and my own depression. Like, that's a vulnerable place, but yet every single time I do it, like I said before, I feel better.
Yeah.
And I'm more empowered. I feel stronger. And it allows me to share even deeper and even more, which is why I think people are drawn to that. And so I tell men, I'm like, you want to be powerful, you want to be able to stand in a place with your family as a patriarch, as a leader, you need to be able to be in the middle of the raging fucking storm and find the eye of the hurricane. And that's the reason we do, a little insight of one of the many things that we do.
So if they show up,
it's terrifying. Yeah, when you show up, just know you're going to get punched in the face. Literally.
I was talking to a guy interviewed a UFC PFL fighter, Sean O'Connell, and I know you guys have business and stuff in the past, I think. And but you guys are friends. And one thing he was talking about was he said, when you get in the fight, when you get in the ring, when you even go practice, right, for you fought as well, there's a beast inside of you, and most people have never actually ever let that beast out. Right. Is that kind of what you're talking
100%.
about there?
Well, it's not just that. That is true, 100%. And most men have never tapped into that.
Yeah.
And if you go back to that savage nature, I mean,
Right.
if the power went out, nobody's really starved. You've never starved. You've been hungry.
Sure.
I've been hungry, but you've never starved.
And we also knew it was there too, somewhere.
And what I'm talking about is getting yourself to a place where if you're fucking starving, bro, you will do anything for food. You'll kill for food.
It happens all the time, right?
You would kill someone for food. If you really think about that, oh, I would never do that. God would be mad. If your fucking children were starving,
right,
you would kill someone for food. We don't talk about this shit. We don't think about this. But that beast, whatever you want to call him, inside that lion, that freaking warrior, that whatever, he's inside of every man. And the reality is we never tap into him. We've been programmed, again, going back to how we were programmed since we were little kids. Sit down, quiet down. Don't say anything that might offend anybody. Just be inside of this box, little Johnny, and you'll be fine. And if all of a sudden little Johnny is wild, is crazy, is like me, and is just a total fucking hellion, pop pills down his throat.
Yeah.
To get him to go back inside of the box, because we don't know what to do with the kid who's outside of the box. He's abnormal, he's crazy.
Yeah.
When you really stop and think about that reality, like, it's inside of every man, but we never tap into him.
Yeah.
And when you find yourself in a fist fight, which is why, for me, there's very much a psychology behind it in tapping into that, because all of a sudden you step back and you realize, I just went toe to toe with another man, I didn't die. I made it through this thing. And now all of a sudden you look at all of these other situations in life and you're like, all of these things that you thought were big, or thought were grave, or thought were so monumental, they almost seem trivial. Like, why am I dealing with this shit at work anymore? That's fucking dumb. I just went toe to toe with this freaking dude and I'm good. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So letting that beast out,
Lion.
I mean, that's what's inside of all of us, and whether you want to sedate him or snowflake him or push him away, he's there.
Right.
And what I firmly believe is the more we tap into that, the more comfortable we are. I mean, we fear what we don't know.
Yeah.
Most men fear violence because they've never been in a violent situation.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about it, we read about it, we watch Sean, watch OC on the friggin' on the TV, but we've never actually tapped into it. And when you tap into it, you up your ante, you realize what you're capable of as a man.
Mm-hmm.
And we've literally created a culture and a society ever since we were little children that is bad.
Mm-hmm.
That is not good. The darkness, you shouldn't be in the dark. Live in the light. Just be happy, and if you feel sad, just go eat some Skittles and you'll be great. No, dude, like I want to fucking rage sometimes.
I don't know if you ever heard of this guy. I was curious your thought on him. You ever heard of a guy, it kind of reminds me of what you're talking about there, named Dan Pena? You ever heard of that guy before?
Yeah.
You ever watch any of his stuff on social?
I've seen some of his rants
online or stuff.
He's crazy.
He's crazy, right? I mean, what's your what's your thoughts on that guy?
I don't know really anything about him. I apparently he says he's worth is he $1 trillion
he says
or some shit like that?
He's gonna be the first trillionaire.
Oh, he's gonna be.
Yeah,
whatever. It's cool.
But dude, he
just
goes off on
rants
stuff.
and rages, and it's cool. Like
screams. Yeah,
it's awesome. If you, one of the things that I firmly believe in, and that I am known for within Lions Not Sheep, is I won't have anybody do anything that I haven't already done.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of the things that we do on top of fighting inside of Lions Not Sheep and the experience, like they're really scary.
Yeah.
And it involves Army Rangers and guys that are
I've
highly
heard
trained
stories
that are scary.
Yeah.
And if Dan's rolling in that space and he's the fucking killer that he portrays to be, God bless him, dude. Good for you. You know what I mean? But I won't ever ask someone to do something that I haven't done myself, or put them down a path that I haven't been down myself.
I'll talk about a topic maybe people don't look at you and see. As authentic as you are on this side, I believe you also have an authentic, maybe this might be the right word, but a soft side, a genuine side. I mean, maybe not a genuine, because I think you are genuine, but I mean, you have a, I sit here talking to you, and I see it on your social media, but I sit here talking to you all day today, and anytime you talk about your kids, you light up. Mm-hmm. You light up, dude. Like there's a real, again, maybe it's not a soft side, but there's another side of you that I don't think people see. What is that side right there? I don't know the difference between the soft and the hard. I just know what's real. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I know what's real to me, and I know what I feel, and I know what comes into my space and into my mind and into my heart. And I've found that the more real I am with my children and showing them who I am, the better the relationship I have with them is. I think we live in this idea and this notion that somehow we think, our kids are never going to be subjected to drugs or to sex or to any of these things, right? Just because we're good parents and we told them it's bad. Well, our parents told us that too, and we were fucking chasing boobies when we were little kids, and it's just what it is, right? I've really found a lot of joy in being a dad, and not just in the sense that it's like my job and it's something that I do, but it's like knowing that is my legacy. It trumps everything else to me. I get asked this all the time, like, what's your legacy? And you can think about leaving your children millions of dollars and leaving them things and all of this other stuff, but like to me, my legacy is like me racing the Baja 500 or the Baja 1000 with my son. It's me like loping with my daughter on our horses. It's all of these cool experiences that I'm having, and I didn't think this way for a long time. I was the opposite way. I was the Disneyland dad. I bought all the cool shit. We had all the toys. We spent thousands of dollars at Christmas and blah, 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 blah. And I realized that like by the end of Christmas Day, my kids were playing with the fucking cardboard boxes, not the toys.
Yeah.
And I started looking at that, realizing like my kids, you could ask your kid, do you kids?
No
kids. You ask any child how many square feet their parents' house is. They can't tell you.
Yeah.
You ask my kids, how much money does dad have in the bank? I have no fucking clue. How many pounds of torque does my truck have, or does my race car have? They have no idea.
Right.
And to me, I just found that a number of years ago that is my legacy, is that connection there. And it's real. It's not a facade, or it's not a this or that. Like, I find more joy in being with my kids than most other people.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like these little humans that I get to like be with, you know what I mean? And I can try and shape them and mold them. But one of the things that we actually did a video about this with racing, is I did a video where I was basically saying I can tell my kids how to live life. I can tell my kids, and she put a link to it. The link's going to be right here to the video. or right here to the video.
This is a video.
It's actually a great video. It's
video
on YouTube.
it's on YouTube.
It's a little monologue that I did with my son and I with racing. I'll tell you about that in a sec. But like, I realized that I can tell my kids how to dream, or I can show them.
Okay.
Like I can tell my kids like what a gentleman is, or I can show them. Mm-hmm. I can tell my kids like how to build your dreams and go be whatever you want to be, or I can show them.
Right.
Because if you stop to think about it, like I don't remember a whole lot of the things that my dad told me, but I remember what he showed me. Like I remember witnessing my dad and seeing my dad and experiencing that, and I realized that I'm not that different. My kids are going to remember what it is that we did, not what I said. And that's something that I'm really, really passionate about is I can, as we were little kids, go live your dream, Johnny, go do your thing, whatever. You can go to the moon and be an astronaut. Just kidding, go get a real fucking job.
Yeah.
And I look at it from the perspective of I can tell my kids how to live their dream, or they can watch me living mine. Mm-hmm. Like I can tell my kids how to go build a cool life, or they can watch me build a cool fucking life.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's not a softer side because it's.
Yeah, so I didn't know the word.
It takes the hardness to build that stuff.
Right.
It takes the audacity to build. It takes the moral fortitude to be a creator and to go out there and to live my own dreams, which a lot of times is scary. It's intimidating to me.
Yeah.
A lot of times. And so my kids get to see that. I bring them in my world. They see me cry. They see me emotional. They see me in the game of life, where I think for a lot of my years it was just hiding them from that. Like, this is home and this is family. And I think a lot of people struggle with that. A lot of men, I struggle with that, because every time I was at home, I felt like I needed to be at work. And every time I was at work, I felt like I needed to be at home. So there was a lot of this guilt complex back and forth, and I was never really present anywhere. And that led to a lot of like my own personal struggles and burning everything to the ground, and now realizing like there's nothing more important. When I'm with my kids, I'm with my kids. There's nothing more important. Jesus could come down and be like, yo, I'm on date night until 10 o'clock, so come back at 10. Yeah. And I'm not kidding. Like, when I'm with my kids, that's the time. It doesn't fucking matter what's happening at work. Solve the problem until I'm done. Mm-hmm. And when I'm at work, doesn't matter what's going on, like I'm at work. And I think that something that I'm really passionate about is teaching men and showing men that that's really possible to do, but it's a choice. It really is a choice. Like, knowing that the business is going to keep going no matter what's happening. I will live without my cell phone for 3 or 4 hours while I build doll houses with my daughter.
Right.
But what are we always doing this? Yeah, honey, you know, the whole thing. So for me, yeah, my kids are.
I love that side of you, man. Again, it's pure, it's authentic, it's not staged.
Yeah.
Like I said, I might be with you all day today, and there's certain times that you light up, and it's always surrounded other stuff too. But when you hit that kid moment, man, it's like,
well, it's weird because I don't know any other way. Like, I don't. When you say like that soft side or whatever, it's I don't know the sides.
Right.
To me, like, I show up with my kids how I show up with my kids. All my kids work for me, and so I'm as big of a dick to them as I am to my other employees sometimes, right? Yeah. And I hug them just like I hug my other, like, you know what I'm saying? Right. To me, there's no, this is dad, this is business, this is this. Like, I'm me. Yeah. I play the game all in. When I'm with them, when I'm with work, when I'm racing, when I'm doing this, when I'm doing that, like, I'm all in no matter where I'm at, no matter what I'm doing. The conversation we're having now, same conversation I have online. Yeah. Like, same conversation, sit on my back deck, smoking a cigar, drinking whiskey. It's like, it doesn't change. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And that's something that I want my kids to not only see, but to learn, you know, is you got one shot at being you. You can create the environment that you're around, you can create the dreams, you can do the deal, but like, never, ever, ever change who you are and be soft over here and hard over here, this over there. I mean, really paralleling this, there's a lot of love in fighting. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you talk about the OC and Cord McGee, right? Yeah. When I was training with those guys. I wanted them to kick the shit out of me. I didn't want 50% from the OC. I wanted 100%, because I knew that if he really loved me, he would train as hard as he possibly could, so that when I went up against my opponent, I would know that I've already been against somebody better than him. Yeah. So when you think about that reality, like, there's a lot of love in that firmness. There's a lot of love and compassion in the hardness. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I don't really differentiate between the two.
You've ran multiple multi-million dollar businesses for not just one or two, and for many, many years, right? When I look at you, one of the things I think about is you're a phenomenal marketer. I mean, marketing is in business and all your business. And I'm not just talking about your brand. I'm talking about just in business in general, right? Your app, Meters, right? Let's talk about marketing for a second. I'm going to shift gears here from kind of philosophy of life, and then I want to go a little bit in the marketing side, because a lot of our viewers are business owners, right? With social media, number one, which one is your favorite one that you use the most right now, that you just on a personal level for your brand?
I'm really active on Facebook because I have about 800,000 followers there.
Okay.
The bulk of the people are there.
Okay.
But I really like Instagram. I mean, from a marketing perspective, you can make anything work. I can make Snapchat work if I wanted to. You know what I mean? I can make TikTok work if I wanted to, right? It's knowing that the audience on TikTok is different than the audience over here, and Facebook is more of the long form. I can do longer videos, I can do longer posts, where Instagram is significantly shorter, quick, momentary, capture them with the image, then they're gonna go to the text kind of a thing. I think what people really need to understand is like knowing your avatar.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If you're trying to sell everyone, you'll sell no one. When you're trying to win everybody, you'll win no one. That's like one of the number one business rules, marketing rules, period. You're trying to sell everybody, you're gonna sell nobody. So those 20,000 people that unfollowed me after I said that the scamdemic or whatever, they weren't my people anyways. They never would have bought from me, they never would have participated, they never would have done shit. I don't give a fuck where they go, right?
I got you.
So when you stop and think about that, you're never changing your marketing, you're never having to adapt to all of these other things. It's like, the conversation that I talk about with like the lighthouse. Imagine being a lighthouse for a second. It has one job, to shine a light.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, it doesn't care if the boats come and slam on the rocks, it doesn't change. It's constantly just shining a light. And the people that heed the light, that see the light, will go around and will take safe passage, and the people that don't won't. It doesn't fucking care. It just shines one light. So from a marketing perspective, whatever platform I'm on, it's the exact same reality across the board. This is what it is, this is what my objective is, this is what my message is, whatever it is, and it doesn't change anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I know
like
who my avatar is. And you just shine one light, and it's really simple that way.
Just so everybody knows, what is your Facebook? Is it just Sean Whalen?
Sean Whalen.
Is it the best one to go to?
Yeah, my name on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, Instagram is the same thing as well?
Right. It's right.
Sean
in this
Whalen.
region. Higher. I don't know where you guys are putting these things. It's somewhere in this region right here on this fancy thing.
Money is Sean Whalen.
Yeah, there you go.
There it is right there. On all of those, but you're not on TikTok right now.
No.
Because I think you would crush it on TikTok.
I know. My bandwidth is.
Yeah.
I could crush it on probably any platform that I wanted to be on. But to me, it's like, this is where I'm at, this is what I enjoy, and truthfully, this is what I have the most fun engaging with. If all of a sudden I found joy with TikTok, I'd be all over it.
Yeah.
I've looked at it, I've dabbled with it for 2 seconds, but I'm like, it's just another thing, right? And there's gonna be something else in 15 minutes and something else in another 15 minutes. And I know that, and we all know that. So I'm really, really, really passionate about me and the message and what I am, and so naturally wherever people find it, they find it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, makes sense. I'm gonna go back to a topic here that you mentioned earlier, talking about COVID, and you used a word that I would even maybe say I was even surprised about. Yeah, that's the word. Is that you just flat out said scam?
Yeah.
Like you didn't say it's not as big. You just said flat out it's a scam.
Yeah.
Where do you get with that?
How many times had you heard about coronavirus prior to the scamdemic?
I never heard of it.
Yet it's been on the side of Lysol bottles for 30 years.
I did see that. I saw a picture.
It's been on the side of antiseptic cleaners, things for 30
Lysol,
freaking years.
everything, yeah.
It ain't new. It's been around forever.
Okay.
And it was like, no one knows, and we're gonna hook them with this catchy thing and this coronavirus, and it's this new, and most people are dumb. I hate to say that, but let's call it what it really is. Most people are dumb. They don't read.
Yeah.
They see the headline and that's it. Go jump off a cliff. Fuck, it said I'm gonna go jump off the cliff.
Yeah.
No one actually pays attention to real shit. And headlines was like this deadly thing that's spreading like wildfire that's killing everyone. If you actually stopped for 2 seconds and looked at it, like, I know a lot of people. I know a ton of people, coast to coast, all over the world. I've yet to meet one person that had it, let alone died from it. One. And I'm not exaggerating, I'm not making that up. So like, you have to step back for 2 seconds, put it in the logic bank here, be like, okay, like, do I really need to shut my entire business down, stop the world from spinning off of something that, we're not really 100% sure about yet? That's kind of my entire philosophy with stuff, is actually like processing and not being a sheep and running off the cliff because everybody's running off the cliff. But at the end of the day, like, I call it the scamdemic because nothing makes sense. Nothing made sense from the beginning about shutting everything down, about like literally locking everything up. It didn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying?
Are you just play with me here? Are you saying it's more of a maybe media thing, Democrat thing, Republican thing?
Real talk, I don't know. We could go to, this is like, I really don't know. I don't know what's behind it all. Okay. I don't know. I mean, we could turn this into a political conversation. my opinion, I really have no clue. I have all my theories like everybody else has theories. I have all my opinions like everybody else has opinions. I have no fucking clue like what's really behind it and what the objective is, what of this was. None of the math made sense. None of the math ended up being even remotely close. We weren't even in the same ballpark. We were talking about millions of Americans are going to die. Headline, headline, headline. How many have died? Is it like even 100,000? They're gonna fucking die of the flu anyways. You know what I'm saying? They were old anyways. None of it made any sense. And to me, it's like, I try not to be that reactionary creature where just because somebody screams something like, you know what I mean? Like if you're sitting in a restaurant and somebody said fire and you just ran out the door without looking at it, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. So for me, I saw right out of the gates that this was some sort of play somewhere. I don't know what, I don't know how or where, but I mean, I was right.
Why do you think, go back to Trump then, why do you think Trump played, like talks about it and does it?
He had to.
He had to?
He had to. I mean, again, this is pure Sean Whalen hearsay, my opinion, but if one person, if he says this is bullshit, if he calls it the scamdemic or whatever, and one person dies of it, the blood of that person is on his hands.
Right.
So naturally he had to go with it. You got the Fucci guy that, you know, up here on the talking about whatever bullshit he was talking about. He's a total fucking quack. Right? None of his shit was right. All of it was fucking wrong. Every single thing that came out of that dude's mouth was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Let's send him to Epstein's Island and let him be there, right? But like the dude was a total fucking quack. But if you think about Trump, like if all of a sudden he just said, hey, I ain't buying, Trump's a hard-nosed dude. You know what? Grab a fucking box of tissue, sniffles, you got it for a week, go back to work. You know what I mean? That's kind of how he is. That's what most logical people are.
Yeah, he didn't wear like mask or any of that stuff.
Have you ever seen him wear a mask?
No, he refuses
His
to.
whole people are wearing masks. He's like, no, fuck you.
They bash him for that too.
Why? Of course they bash him for that. They bash him for if he freaking sits wrong. And you stop, I mean, that's why, again, step back for 2 seconds, take an assessment of what's really going on. You know, like we talk situational awareness, where are things really at? All these CEOs are stepping down, all this stuff's going on. It didn't make any sense to me, and literally none of it has panned out to be even remotely close to what was projected or what was talked about. None of it.
Yeah, I've always thought it was weird that he never wore a freaking mask anywhere.
I didn't think
it was like almost like he knew, like,
I'd have bet you all the money in the world that dude never was going to wear a mask. He was never putting a freaking mask on, bro. He was never going to put one on. But I mean, like you said, again, this goes back to that sheep mentality. Right? Everybody ran off the cliff. Like people were calling me a murderer. Like people were literally saying they hope my kids get it and die. I have screenshots of messages that people sent me. Like, I hope your kids get this and die. It's like, why? Just because I question something? Because I'm not a fucking sheep? I'm literally questioning the validity of this. And what was fascinating is like how many people jumped off the cliff. How many people like literally just were warring with each other over it. You don't know. Everybody became a doctor. Right? Everybody was a freaking pandemic specialist overnight. It's like, dude, give me a freaking break, man. But that happens all the time. If you look at media manipulation, the whole thing, it happens with everything. Whether it's the scamdemic, whether it's racism, whether it's this, whether it's that, it's always just keeping the sheep entertained and moving wherever you want them to move. And all of a sudden you step back and you're like, nah, I'm not going there. And you're all of a sudden, for lack of better words, the black sheep, if you will. And so when you question anything like, damn the black sheep, you can't do that. But yeah, dude, I never bought into the deal.
None of the COVID, the China flu, never got into it.
I called it the scamdemic.
You just called it scamdemic
since day one. And I mean, again, I was right. You know?
And one of the things that being in business, right, that you hear a lot about, or you see, and like I feel bad for these people. You talk about the looting and the rioting that's going on. And these are business owners that are sitting there, have their whole life poured into this shop, whatever it may be, right? And you see these people just absolutely destroying it, right? Running in, robbing, stealing, whatever you want to call it, right? Where's that government coming in to help at? Where's that government coming in to step in and stop that?
War is big business. Anger is big business. Racism,
let it happen.
Racism is big fucking business, man.
Yeah.
You know, and again, this goes back to that conversation we were talking about like before, like the strong surviving.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, imagine if every single business owner was standing in front of his business with an AR-15. Those stores wouldn't be freaking broken into.
The ones that did, they were not.
They weren't.
There were some that did.
Plain and simple. And at the end of the day, like that reality for me is, you know, you have to be able to protect yourself. You have to be able, not just physically, but you have to be able to protect your mind. You have to be able to protect like what comes in and where you are emotionally, psychologically, which is why these conversations are beautiful. Asking more questions, diving in deeper into things. It might not make sense to you,
Sure.
right? But that's cool. If you don't know something, like I actually appreciate not knowing. I like not knowing things because then I can go on a journey and get answers, right?
Yeah.
And if I get answers, now I'm smarter. And so not knowing is not a bad thing. Like people look at it like, oh, I don't know this answer, so what do? I fight. I get mad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And really the truth is that if you stop for 2 seconds, instead of like pandering to the news and media, say, nah, I don't know, let me do a little bit of research on this, you'd find something different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And there's a very small fraction of people that do that because it is easy to just manipulate people. And people manipulate all day long. Going over here, going over there. Shit, Hillary's gonna win by 13 points because the Dow Jones poll says that she's up by 13 points. Blatant lie. Just blatant fucking lie.
Yeah.
But people believed it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Because they didn't step back and they didn't have any other information
But
of
the sheep,
their own.
what you're saying, the sheep mentality, where they just follow blindly.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about this all day long. I'm really intrigued to see what the play is with this. The long term,
Behind the
thing.
scenes, what's
you know
happening?
What I mean?
Is
Like
it
what's
a
really going
worldwide
on? Why is
currency,
this
or is
thing-
it a?
Yeah, who knows? I have no idea.
I was
man.
talking. I think it was Sean O'Connell actually. I was talking to him. I think he was talking about how that's one of the things that could create like a universal basic income, where they've given this money to so many people, right?
yeah.
On the $600 extra a week, and you almost get people addicted to it, right? Like the tit, and you can't get off of it.
That's what our whole culture is. That's what
Yeah.
entire society has been built around. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? We pulled $3 trillion out of thin air, and if anybody's paying attention, there was just an audit. There was an audit on the federal government
Yeah.
to find out where $800 billion of that $3 trillion went. And you want to know who declined the audit?
Who?
The federal government.
Straight behind
Google it. It's all public information. Not disclosing where $800 billion went.
They just
keep
denied the audit.
You just
said
keep
no.
kicking that down the road and kicking that down the road, and eventually we'll reach a tipping point as a nation where like money won't mean anything anymore. And then if it doesn't, we go back to the conversation I was just having. We're primal.
Yep.
We're going primal. How many bullets you got? I'll trade you X amount of bullets for Y amount of freaking Cheetos. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it's going to come down to it.
Yeah. Did you see that the Hillary thing where she got the subpoena and she was for her emails? And it would happen during the COVID thing. It's one of the things that were coming out, right?
Yeah.
And they denied her appeal. And she's supposed to go, I think, back to court in September.
Yeah.
To actually, now she has to talk about all the deleted emails and so forth
Yeah.
that happened there. And then you tie that like stuff into like Epstein, which you talked about, right? Which is a whole
Is this a
freaking
conspiracy
creepy
theory show?
I don't know, dude.
Are we going down the
I could go down that
conspiracy theory
road
route?
because I was watching that documentary stuff. I don't know if you watched
Yeah.
it or not on Epstein. And that
Oh,
was
yeah.
freaking crazy.
Dude,
This-
there's a lot of stuff. I mean, we live in the greatest land on earth.
Yeah.
There's a reason that people risk their own life to come here. There's a reason that millions of people try and cross the border, jump the fences, dig the tunnels, float the seas to come here every single year, right? That's a beautiful thing, dude. There's
Yeah.
obviously something to this country
They want.
that's appealing to people. There's a level of freedom, there's a level of opportunity. Like I say, you drop these snowflakes, these motherfuckers off in a third world country, they're dead in a week, gone, done and done. There's no survival there. There's a reason that people are trying to come to this country because it's beautiful. The opportunity here is second to none, right? But make no mistake, behind that there's a dark current.
Yeah.
There is shit that is behind the scenes that people will sell their soul for.
Yeah.
And we both know from a business standpoint, we've seen people sell their souls for money.
Yeah.
We've seen people sell their souls for power. You know what I mean? And I think without question that we need to acknowledge that, and you know, that's real. It's not pretend, it's not whatever, but what does that mean, right? I think the more that men get their own house in order, this is something people ask me about this whole COVID thing. What's the number one suggestion you make to people? Get your house in order. Like if your house is in order financially, emotionally, psychologically, all of these storms don't fucking matter. They don't
Right.
matter to me, right?
Right.
My family is our house is in order. If we
Right.
had to bounce, we're out of here in 5 minutes, we're gone. We'll live in the mountains, we'll survive. I got the skill set and the entire deal, right? Financially, emotionally, like when you get your own house in order, when you put your mask on first, none of this stuff really matters, right? And I'm finding more and more like that's really a beautiful thing what's happening in our culture right now because it's exposing so few people that have their house in order.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about like all of these businesses that closed, people went broke, right? In a matter of missing one paycheck or two pay. No, you were broke way fucking before that, bro.
Yeah.
You were just hanging on with this idea that somehow this was job security to you.
Right.
Now it's exposed that you're fucking broke, that you have no pot to piss in. What are you gonna do with it? Are you gonna try and hang on to this system that's like, you know, barely keeping you alive, or are you gonna thrive?
Yeah.
And it's now this wake up call, and sometimes that has to happen, man. I mean, that polarity, like I was talking about earlier, it's a really powerful thing. It's a really, really powerful thing, because if you think about most of the major situations that have happened in your life that have taught you the most, they probably came in the darkest moments.
Oh yeah.
And so now this is like that space where our culture, our world, our society, our country is in a really fucking dark place. What are we gonna do about it? Are we gonna come out the other side like more empowerment, you know, for our families, for ourselves, or deeper down this, you know, entitlement role where somebody gimme, somebody gimme,
Right.
somebody gimme? You know, it's a really powerful time.
I love it, man. You've given so much truth and so much authenticity of talking about conversations that people just are afraid to talk about. And whether people agree with you or disagree with you, the point is you put it on the table. And you can disagree or like it. I freaking love that concept. I got two little questions here for you.
Okay.
They're a little bit different, okay? I was thinking about it as I started talking to you, just thinking about the Sean Whalen, like what's in that mind, bro? And
I don't even
it's
know
incredible,
half the time.
bro. Here's what I'm gonna do. You're 41 right now, I think.
Correct.
Right? Tell me where you see Sean Whalen 20 years from now.
I have no fucking clue. I'm thinking about what I'm doing tonight.
Yeah.
Literally, like I don't have a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, a 20-year
You're not a vision
plan.
board?
No.
No.
I think vision boards are stupid. I really do. And I don't mean any disrespect to anybody that has one, but for me, I know too many people that rely on the vision board versus action.
Yeah.
You know, to give you a really prime example of that, last year, every December, it's the same story. We see this, right? Dude, 2019 kicked my ass. 2020 is going to be my year, though.
Yeah.
You see that all through December, right?
Right.
Man, this year fucked me up. Next year, though, I'm coming, right?
Yeah.
And this dude posted this picture of a Lamborghini.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, dude, I'm going to buy this next year. I was like, that's badass, dude. How you going to do it? He's like, I'm going to freaking hustle my ass off next year. I was like, cool, bro. I spent 3 seconds scrolling through his Facebook. Every other post was a Gary Vee, hustle, grind, hustle, grind. I'm like, it looks like you're already doing that. So what exactly are you going to do to buy the Lambo?
Yeah.
You want to know what his answer was? Why do you have to be a dick, dude? I swear to God, he said that. Why do you have to be a dick? Because he didn't have an answer to it.
Sure.
He had no answer how he's going to buy the Lamborghini. So for me, I'm looking at it saying, the difference between me and other people is like, I'm going to just throw this shit out there.
Yeah.
If I want to buy the Lambo, it costs $300,000. I want to buy it on this date, which means I need to make X amount of money over this period of time, Y amount of money over this period of time, this much money per day. And those are the guys who are successful. So for me, literally, like I wake up every single day knowing this is what I want to accomplish today. I have ideas and thoughts of where I want to be over, 90 days, 120 days, a year from now, whatever. But dude, I don't think that far ahead, because I find the more I worry about my future, the less present I am.
It's all about present for you.
And everything to me is happening right now. There's nothing else that exists besides this conversation. I don't even know where my phone went, but I don't know what's happening.
You're 100% in.
It
I
could
can
literally
feel it,
be
dude.
fucking burning down for all I know, and this is the only thing that's real.
Yeah.
And so my entire objective in life, literally, people ask you, what's my purpose?
Yeah.
And my purpose is to find a singular moment and live in it. And then find another singular moment and live in it. Because that's where I find the most peace.
It's so simple, but yet it's so deep on the same
It's one of the
hand.
hardest things that I think human beings will do, because we're programmed to either be in the future or live in the past. And people that struggle with depression, which I have, every time I find myself struggling with depression, I'm thinking about something from yesterday, which I have no control over. I can't do anything over. Or when I find myself in a place of anxiety, I'm worried about the future. I'm worried about my kids. I'm worried about college funds. I'm worried about retirement. I'm worried about all this other shit. And every single time I found like really, really peaceful moments, like I found the flow state, it's all happening right now. I mean, Brian will tell you, if you're driving your race truck and you're worried about 16 turns ahead, you're gonna fucking crash.
Yeah.
If you're worried about how you screwed up that last turn, you're gonna crash. Like one of the best pieces of advice in off-road racing that somebody gave me is you're racing 1 mile at a time. And so I'm literally here this day, this moment, next meeting, I'm in this place. Next meeting, I'm in this place. And that's really all I'm living is in this one moment.
Wow. That's incredible, dude. Last little question for you. I want to do the money is sign with you. You mentioned earlier, almost right at the beginning of the interview, you looked at me and said, both of us are going to die one day. Like, we had this in common for sure, right? Both of us are going to die one day. Eventually, one day, Sean Whalen's going to pass away, Sean Whalen's going to die. If they turn around and make a movie about Sean Whalen, okay, which they probably will, let's be honest, right? They turn around and make a movie about Sean Whalen.
Be a whole docu-series on it.
A 10-part series.
Yeah.
Who do you want to play you as Sean Whalen on earth?
My son.
Wow. Dude, that's good. That's cool, man.
Hopefully, I hate the word hope, but hopefully I've led a life that he sees enough to know who I really am.
Wow.
Hopefully I've opened up my world, opened up my heart, opened up my life enough that he really knows who I am and he could play me easily.
That's powerful. I mean, dude, that is the other side of you that, or maybe it's not the other side, it's just the realness of you. You know, most people right there would have said, whatever, Brad Pitt, you know, whoever, George Clooney, or all these studs in Hollywood. And almost like without hesitation, you went back to, oh, no, just my son. It's my son.
Nobody's ever asked me that question before.
Yeah, and I didn't tell you I was going to ask you. I don't even have a note of it. I was just thinking when we were talking to me.
I've never thought about that, but that's the first thing that came to my mind is my son. Because, I mean, if I play this game, I mean, we're playing a game. It's what it is.
Yeah.
Like, we're waking up every day and there's obstacles and objections and there's things and there's distractions and there's all this shit around us. And it's like, you know, if I play this game the way that I really want to play this game, like, I'm all in.
Right.
You know, it's like being able to stand up naked in front of somebody and this is what it is. It's the scariest fucking thing in the world to do.
Yeah.
Yet there's nothing more liberating and powerful.
Yeah.
There's nothing more liberating and powerful than putting every fucking card on the table because there's nothing to hide.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To me, that's power. To me, that's peace. Is I don't have skeletons in the closet. I'm not worried about if so-and-so finds out this, if so-and-so finds out that. It's like, I'm all in.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if I can live that way with my kids and show my kids that life, and they emulate that in any way, I've won.
That's awesome, man. Super powerful, dude. What a great, I didn't see that one coming, dude. That is just a great answer, man. Kudos to you. I got this, you know, we were doing this sign, and I've got the money is sign here. And you got the.
Now I get to answer it.
Pretty cool freaking mugshot on you, man. I made sure we had the lines of that sheep on it for you there. And I can't wait to hang this one up, dude, with the Hall of Fame over there. So whether it be one word or a phrase, it's totally up to you. G's gonna come behind you and then write it, whatever it is here, and I want you to put that big John Hancock right there. I got a Sharpie for you.
I thought I had an answer to it, and now that I'm thinking about it, I might change it.
Totally your call, bro. There's a nice big Sharpie there. Oh man, you guys are gonna love this one.
I normally answer this differently, but this just came to me.
Sign the bottom, sign in the middle there,
Sign.
man. Oh, that's gonna be worth some money, bro.
That is gonna be worth a lot of fucking money.
You guys check this out right here. Only person that's ever answered the question with this answer. Sean Whalen's answer to money is money. Money, dude! I cannot wait to hear why you put because you had talked about a possibility of putting another word there, and but I don't know.
Money. That's all it is. It's just money.
Why'd you put it there?
Money's money.
Yeah,
that's all it is. We think that it's something else. We think it's power, but it's just money. Money is money. Isn't that really what it is? It's just money.
Yeah,
they're just fun coupons. They're just things floating around. Money is just money.
Awesome, dude. That's freaking, dude. You got some great answers to this show, man.
Thanks, dude.
It's been an absolute freaking blast having you.
Thank you for having me.
I hope one day we get you back on the show.
Would love
I want to go deeper in some more stuff and get that Sean Whalen. For you guys watching, man, this has been the most authentic guy that I believe is on the internet right now out there.
On the planet.
On the planet. Let's
If
just say
we're
the planet, dude.
Let's just go for the whole planet.
The whole planet and a couple other Mars, because in case we get there,
we're going.
You're the most authentic guys on Mars already.
So here's
dude.
the next question. I want you to ask the next guy.
All right.
Because I'm wondering this, and I don't know this. So I'm going to throw this in your pipe and smoke it. What did Elon Musk? You know how Elon Musk shot a roadster?
Yeah.
Towards Mars. What's inside the roadster?
I don't know. They didn't ever talk about it.
Did you hear anything about it?
I didn't think about it actually.
Did I tell you
about it? I didn't
Elon
think about
Musk shot a roadster.
They never really mentioned it.
It's on its way to Mars.
Yeah, I know that.
Now, what's inside of it? What did he put in there?
I don't know, bro.
He had to put something in there.
Wow.
That's a trippy question.
It's a trippy.
He's
That's
a smart
deep thought, dude.
Yeah. What's inside the roadster? What's going to Mars right now that at some point in time is going to get there?
I mean, he's a smart dude, of course, right? And you got to think he's got something in there that he did. I love that. You
get him on the show and ask him.
Dude, that'd be
That's
great.
what you need to ask him.
We'll
ask him about business and being savvy. Be like, bro, what's really in the car?
What's in the car?
And you know he's going to lie to you. He's not going to really tell you.
I love it, man. You guys watching, I absolutely enjoyed it. We will see you guys next week on the Money Is Show. This is Sean Whalen.